at I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin and your chairman is Jack D.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us this week in Dunstable, the undisputed town in Bedfordshire. The name Dunstable is derived from an early English word meaning not quite Luton. The 17th century mathematician and scientist William Bedwell was born in Dunstable. He was the first person in England to accept that the Earth isn't flat and that it revolves around the sun, and is still known by the people here as that loony. A pioneer of algebra, Bedwell corresponded with Galileo, who encouraged Bedwell to invent the plus sign, parenthesis brackets, and the equal sign, so he could end his sentences with an unconvincing sideways smiley face. The pressure of his work in algebra caused Bedwell to divorce several times, but he stayed friends with his ex-wife, which plus his Y-wife equals N-wives. After the First World War, the aerodrome at Cardington became the home of Britain's hydrogen airship production. On its maiden flight, the R-38 mysteriously burst into flames. Then the R-47 mysteriously caught fire, and the R-101 mysteriously burned to ashes as it landed. Their test pilot, Archie Scott Brown, was downhearted, but cheered up when he learned he'd won Pipe Smoker of the Year. TV's Carol Vorderman was born in Bedford. Miss Vorderman left Countdown when her contract was up for renewal. She was expected to take a 90% cut in her £1 million salary, at which point she told the producer to stick the new contract up his vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Before the war, Britain's largest car plant was the Luton Vauxhall factory. In 1940, the factory switched to building the Sherman tank, meeting the war effort's urgent need for more rhyming slang. Dunstable Priory is one of the few monastic buildings which survived Henry VIII's purge. Pilgrims today travel there to see the recently discovered relics. But they're not alone in saying a prayer at the site of ancient relics. Let's meet the teams. On my left, Barry Cryer and Graeme Garden. And on my right, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Tony Hawkes. And enthusiastic as ever to keep an eye on the team's points, please welcome our fragrant scorer, the delightful Samantha. OK, well, we'll start this week with a round about spelling mistakes, because everyone finds spelling mistakes furry. Now, this round was suggested by Graeme Garden, who is about to publish a book on the correct way to write. He just has to finish dotting the T's and crossing the I's. Then it's off to the publisher for proofreading. So, teams, I'll ask you to suggest examples of spelling mistakes you may have spotted which might have caused anything from mild inconvenience to complete disaster. We'll start with you, please, Bory.
All right, Jock. In case of emergency, break wind with hammer.
Tim.
Dogs must be curried on the escalator.
Tony?
Do now leap out of the window.
Graeme?
The zoo, do not feel the gorilla.
Sign in stores, shirt lifters will be persecuted.
Ladies to let.
And one I've seen on a packet of moussaka contains minced potatoes aborigines.
Cyclists must ride on the psychopath.
Smoking pauses dancer.
Mind the Jap.
Please show your appreciation by putting your hands together and crapping.
The Conservative Panty Conference.
No tools are left in this man overnight.
Extreme weather warning. Torrential pain followed by sleep and a large dump of snot.
The Mayor of London, Doris Johnson. Walker's potato crisis.
Oh, that's probably enough smelling piss takes. So let's move on, because it's music time now with the game called One Song to the Tune of Another. In One Song to the Tune of Another, the teams will attempt to sing the words taken from one song to the tune taken from a different song, played by Colin at the piano. To make the game even more of a challenge, Colin will play the tune in a way which makes them virtually unrecognisable. Just like he does in all the other rounds. So, Tim, we'll start with you, if we may. I'd like you to sing the words of Beautiful by Christina Aguilera to the tune of Men of Harlech.
Every day is so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed I am beautiful, no matter what they say, words can't bring me down. I'm beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down, so don't you bring me down. Today all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all your doom. Trying hard to fill the emptiness, the pieces gone, they left the puzzle underdone. That's the way it is. You're beautiful no matter what they say.
Great the way you leapt into that. There's a great thing about Tim, he's never been affected by success. You now, Barry, I'd like you to sing the words of my favourite things to the tune of the Funeral March.
Raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies, crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells, and schnitzel with noodles.
Your turn, Graeme. I'd like you to sing the words of Michael Jackson's Thriller to the tune of the Monty Python theme.
It's close to midnight and something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream but terror takes the sound. Before you make it, you start to freeze as horror looks you right bullet between the eyes, you're paralysed. Well, this is a thriller night, and no one's going to save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's thriller night you're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight. Hey!
Tony, finally you. Tony, I'd like you to sing the words of Model of a Modern Major General to the tune of Mad World by Gary Jules.
I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal and mineral. I know the kings of England and I quote the fights historical. From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. And I'm very well acquainted with matters mathematical. I understand equations, both simple and quadratical. About binomial theorem, I'm teeming with lots of news and many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
The next round is called Word for Word, and it's a sort of word association game. Actually, I recently did some of these word association tests at the doctor's, and he said I might have ADHD, I think it was. I wasn't really listening. Word for Word is the reverse of an association test where all the suggested words should be totally unconnected. Tim and Tony, you can start exchanging your random words, while Barry and Graeme, you should listen carefully and challenge with a buzzer to take over play if you detect a connection. So off you go, please, Tim and Tony.
Catamaran.
Thoroughfare.
Cactus.
Stencil.
Pusillanimous.
Filibuster.
Barry.
I've got an album at home, Pusillanimous Filibuster. It's by Anne Widdicombe.
Could
I treasure it.
Could we hear a bit of it, Barry?
Widdicombe. Widdicombe is the name. Dancing. Dancing is my game. Anne is my first name. Don't you wish that you were the same?
I can give you that. Obviously, it's obviously true because you know the song so well, Barry. So it's over to you, Barry and Graeme.
Adamant.
Cow.
Straight away, that was
Yeah,
Tony.
well, Adamant dressed up as a cow in one of his videos.
I think I seem to remember that, Tony. I think
Yeah.
you're quite right. I think you're quite right about that. Back to you, Barry and Graeme.
Me?
Yeah.
That was my word.
You.
Oh.
I think there might be some connection between me and you.
Would you
you
state
say
it,
that.
Tim? Yeah, you say it. What is the connection, though? Define it.
It's about 4.5 inches.
Tim, you don't have to tell us this. Well, I accept that there is a connection between me and you. You were quite right to interrupt. Back to you, Barry and Graeme.
Dormant.
Desk.
Funicular.
Chalk.
Holistic.
Fork.
Ah, another interruption from Tony.
I'm sure I've had a holistic fork somewhere in my career.
Fork.
Oh, sorry.
I can't let you have it if you just misheard it, Tony. Barry and Graeme.
Still.
Yeah.
Your turn, Baz.
Yes?
What?
That's my word.
Tractor.
Jelly.
Nevertheless.
Although.
What?
What?
Well, nevertheless and although, they're both very
Words.
similar.
Nevertheless and although are virtually the same.
Perhaps you'd like to define them both, Barry.
What?
About 3:15.
No, this Anne Widdecombe album.
Remind us what it was called again, Barry.
What? You know what it was called.
I'd like you to sing another track. OK, well, that's enough of that. Is what I meant to say 10 minutes ago. The next round is our tribute to Gardener's Question Time, which recently marked 65 years on air with an audience of invited celebrities. Barry Cryer went along, but they said it was for invited celebrities. This week, in Jack's Topical Garden Tips, I'll be demonstrating the art of topiary. I shall start pruning, and there'll be a bonus point for the first panellist who can tell me what it is I'm shaping. OK, here I go. OK, teams, any idea what it is?
Is it a hedge?
Yes, it is. Well done. And on to the next round. Well, now, this round is played in tribute to Edward Lear, the writer famous for his nonsense poems. Today, we're concentrating on limericks. The standard form of a limerick relies on a 5-line stanza with the defining foot of its metre being the anapest in a modified iambic pentameter, and the fact that Vickers rhymes with knickers. Well, I'll read out a classic Edward Lear limerick minus its last line, and teams should try to come up with a better closing line than the original. So, Tony, we'll come to you first. There was an old man with a beard who said, "It is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren."
No wonder this pasty tastes weird.
The original was, have all built their nests in my beard, so I prefer yours. Barry.
Yes.
This is one for you to finish. There was an old person of Hurst who drank when he was not athirst. When they said you'll grow fatter, he answered, "What matter?"
Then farted and suddenly burst.
Tim, there was an old person of Burton whose answers were rather uncertain. When they said, "How do you do?" he replied, "Who are you?"
Would you kindly replace the shower curtain?
Graeme, there was an old man with a nose who said, "If you choose to suppose that my nose is too long, you are certainly wrong."
Then he rolled it up just like a hose.
Here's some for any of you to have a go at. There was an old man on a hill who seldom, if ever, stood still. He ran up and down in his grandmother's gown.
And was excluded from grandfather's will.
There was an old man of Calcutta who perpetually ate bread and butter, till a great bit of muffin on which he was stuffing
Said she'd rather have cake, you old nutter.
Finally, there was an old person of Tring who embellished his nose with a ring. He gazed at the moon every evening in June.
Until his Prince Albert went ping.
Now, the next round is all about public apologies. The Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, apologised over tuition fees, but the Lib Dems are still looking for a replacement leader who'd be more popular with the public. Abu Hamza, for example. Rupert Murdoch apologised over the phone hacking scandal. He spoke personally to Tim Brooke-Taylor to apologise that his journalists had hacked every message from Tim's agent for the last 15 years. What an intrusion of privacy to hear Tim's agent had dialed the wrong number both times. In this round, each team will make a public apology, but they don't know what it is they're apologising about. And the opposing team will be journalists at the press conference. So the team apologising has to work out what they've done from the questions that they're asked. Now, the first team to make a full and unreserved apology will be Tim and Tony. But first, the nature of your offence will be displayed to our theatre audience via the laser display screen. For listeners at home, here's the mystery voice.
Tim and Tony ate all the pies. Tim and Tony ate all the pies.
So, Tim and Tony, you start apologising now, please. Off you go.
Well, we just want to say right from the outset...
Right from the outset.
We're very sorry about what's happened.
I mean, do you have anything to say to the people who are most affected by this?
We'd like to say we're very, very, very sorry.
Yeah.
No, we mean that. Quite.
Yeah.
But what do you say to Eamon Holmes, for example?
Yes.
Morning, Eamon.
He's not alone in this. This has been building up. Vanessa Feltz has given her own press conference on this very subject.
Yes. As indeed has Eric Pickles.
Not to mention Russell Grant, so I won't.
No, he didn't. Well, he didn't see it coming at all. Admittedly, from your point of view, you haven't suffered from it. You've been given the freedom of Melton Mowbray. But some people have been badly affected.
They have.
Yeah. Simple Simon, for example.
Well,
Is it who ate all the pies?
Right, well, it's your turn to apologise now, Barry and Graeme. The nature of your offence will now be displayed via the laser display screens, while here's the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Barry and Graeme are Boris Johnson's hairdressers. Barry and Graeme are Boris Johnson's hairdressers.
So, ready with your questions, please, Tim and Tony. Off you go, Barry and Graeme.
Can we say right away we do regret it?
Yes. Very, very sorry for any public upset or distress we may have caused.
well, there's been quite a bit, yes. Now, whilst we accept that it is a two-man job...
Yep.
Couldn't at least one of you have gone on a course?
To have public exposure of this has made it much more difficult to appreciate.
Well, what course was it exactly? And did it in any way involve sheep?
If any sheep have been affected, there is a helpline they can call. I mean, we're more than ready to offer financial compensation where proper.
I don't think
that would be called for. I mean, why did you use a bread knife? and couldn't you have sharpened it?
Yeah.
We applaud your attempts to save electricity.
Yeah.
But you could have turned the lights on, couldn't you? When you're working.
Yes. That's something we've learnt, and we'll take that into account going forward.
Just as a matter of interest, did you work on the Dulux dog ad?
I can't remember. The lights were out.
Look, you ruined it for the Labour Party with Michael Foot, didn't you? Why switch allegiance in this way?
We're loyal. We're loyal by nature. We don't chop and change.
Well, you don't chop very well, anyway.
To be honest, it was partly his own fault. He came in saying he wanted to be a lovable mop-top. Boris.
Yeah,
Boris,
yes. Bless.
Well, it's very nearly the end of the show, but there is just time to fit in a round of the Scottish Songbook. Scotland's flag derives from Andrew, their patron saint, who was crucified by the Romans on a cross in the shape of an X. And you have to feel sorry for the other 7 who were crucified just so those Romans could finish that game of giant noughts and crosses. So, Graeme, will you please start?
Fly me to Dunoon.
Barry?
Sitting on the jock of the bay.
Tim?
3 wee kings.
Tony?
Galloway's look on the bright Clyde of Fife.
Pardon me, boy, is this the Ochtamachty choo-choo?
You'd have had your tea for 2.
Haggis, that's why they call it the blues.
You must remember this, haggis is still haggis.
Leith police, please let me go.
Hey, you, get off of MacLeod.
Uptown Ian Rankin.
Life on deep-fried Mars.
Itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot sporran. Hello, Jack.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the Grand Prix winner of Time throws the Magnum of Destiny over the adoring fans of Fate, and they go off to wash ice cream out of their hair. I notice it's the end of the show. So from the team, Samantha, myself, and our audience here in Dunstable, it's goodbye. Goodbye!
Barry Cryer, Graham Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Tony Hawkes were being given silly things to do by Jack D, with Colin Sell setting some of them to music. The programme consultant was Ian Pattinson and the producer was John Naismith. We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin Sell, and your chairman is Jack D.
Hello, and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us this week on a second visit to the Bedfordshire town of Dunstable. Sir Asher Hucklesby was 5 times mayor between 1892 and 1906 and built an enormous hat factory here. Later they made smaller sizes. The eminent research biologists, husband and wife team, James and Georgina Benedict, worked here. Georgina devoted years to developing strains of benign bacteria, organisms to be used to treat disease. On publication, her results caused a sensation, but later she was exposed as a fraud. Her husband was naturally devastated to discover his wife had been faking her organisms. Dunstable is home to the last factory in Britain still producing traditional ventriloquist dummies. They're generally regarded as the best in the world, but they've never been advertised. The makers say their puppets speak for themselves. The town of Wootton Green is famous as the home of the last animal circus in Britain. However, the owner and ringmaster, Billy Carson, was recently hospitalised after an elephant sat on him. He was described as comfortable. I just got that. The Spiritualist Association of Great Britain was founded in Dunstable. The organisation is dedicated to holding public meetings for those who want to communicate with friends or relatives who've passed away. Alternatively, anyone who prefers to hear the voices of dead people in their own home can tune into Radio 4 Extra. The presenter of TV's Grand Designs, Kevin MacLeod, attended Dunstable Grammar. His programme typically looks at a couple who are struggling with a strict budget of no more than £800,000 or £900,000 as they fastidiously restore a 15th century half-timbered manor house interior to exactly resemble the check-in hall at Stansted Airport. The Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents is based here. ROSPA was founded by two local men who got together to improve safety in the home and workplace and discovered they got on like a house on fire. ROSPA produced that classic poster showing how, if you open your car door quickly, you can put a cyclist over the handlebars. Another good way is to shove a broom handle through his front wheel. ROSPA has worked for years in the cause of public safety, but there are certain unfortunate events even they've been unable to prevent. Let's meet the teams. On my left, Barry Cryer and Graeme Garden. And on my right, Brooke-Taylor and Tony Hawks. And taking her usual position, ready to score on her desk, please welcome the delightful Samantha. Well, we start this week with another edition of the Uxbridge English Dictionary. The English language has many words which appear to refer to the same thing, but in fact have subtle differences in meaning. For example, many people don't know the difference between atmosphere and ambience. Well, an atmosphere refers to a mood or tone of prevailing emotional attitude, especially one associated with a specific place or time, whereas an ambience is what takes Barry Cryer back to his home after the show. But words are constantly changing their meaning, so I'll ask the teams to suggest any new definitions they may have spotted recently. Tim, can you start?
Tinker, thoughtful Irishman.
Barry.
Coffee, someone on whom one coughs.
Graeme.
Himalayas, hermaphrodite chickens.
Tony.
Nutmeg, to assault the star of When Harry Met Sally.
Shire, a downpour in Gerrard's Cross.
Canary, extremely hirsute.
Niceties, pleasant sofas.
Hispanic, fear of snakes.
Mumble, mother you want to take to a second-hand shop.
Deduce, what you get when you squeeze de-lemon.
Collier, like a collie, but more so.
Roulette, tiny law.
Boeing, a manufacturer of rubber aircraft.
Xmas, mother you have taken to a second-hand shop.
Polygamy, the ancient art of wife folding.
Well, the teams are going to sing along with a selection of discs now in the round called Pick Up Song. Samantha is back at the record deck with this week's discs. You should sing along, teams, until Samantha turns the volume down. If, when the music returns, you're within a midge's minim of the original, I'll be awarding points. And there's nothing lazier than catchphrase comedy. What's there nothing lazier than? This week's prize would delight any mobster who gets a little peckish cruising the hood. It's this gangster's Cornish pasty. Graeme, you're to start, and I'd like you to accompany the Kinks singing Lola.
I met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. C-O-L-A cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name, and dark brown voice she said, Lola. L-O-L-A, Lola. La 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 Lola. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my smile.
Thank you, Graeme. And can I ask, if you're going to walk out, can you at least break your step? So, you're next, Barry. I'd like you to accompany Manfred Mann singing The Mighty Quinn.
Come on with him. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Quinn. Come on without, come on within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Quinn. Dee, 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 dee. Everybody's building ships and boats. Some are building monuments, others dummy pound notes. Everybody's in despair, every girl and boy. But when Quinn the Eskimo gets here, everybody's gonna jump for joy.
Very much, Barry. Tim, you're next. Can you accompany Justin Bieber singing Baby?
Are we an item? Girl, quit playing. We're just friends. What are you saying? Say there's another and look right in my eyes. My first love broke my heart for the first time, and I was like, baby, baby, baby. Oh, I was like a baby, baby, baby. Oh, I was a baby.
Tim, I hope you realise if you pretend to be that age on the internet, you get arrested. So, Tony, finally you. Can you accompany Korean rapper Psy with his hit song Gangnam Style?
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Hanjan Yunan Roland Pukan Yin Yoja Baninan Yon Simjati Tidwan Brandin Yoja Guyan Banjan Inan Yoja Nanyan Sanapai Najuni Kukuntasarun and Gurun Sanape Keep on see good one there was a secret Sanape Bami Yon Si Jopa Pota Sanape Gurun Sanape Aram Dawo Sang it good on the hay go run about hay I'm a no arrow sang a no arrow go no hay
Tony Hawk singing those words that we all know and love so well. The teams are going to do some acting now in the round called Sound Charades. This is the team's version of the old TV mime show, Give Us a Clue. It's difficult to see how you could improve on the original, but if anyone can, this four can't. Tim and Tony, you're to start. And your title will shortly be displayed to the audience via the laser display screen. For listeners at home, here's the mystery voice.
The £1 million drop. The £1 million drop.
OK, so you're guessing this one, Barry and Graeme. And audience, do feel free to clap if they're getting warm with their guesses. Off you go, please, Tony and Tim.
It's a TV programme and it's got 4 words if you need that.
TV 4 words. What's it called?
And it goes like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome back to Weight Watchers. It's been a while, Mr. Pickles.
Oh, please call me Eric.
Eric, don't stay out there. Come on in. Oh, you can't. I'll come out to you, which is handy because this is where the Speak Your Weight machine is. If you'd like to just pop yourself on.
No coach parties. One at a time.
Right, it should give us the readout now and tell us what your target is.
You need to lose 71,428 stone. The end.
Is the word weight in the title?
No.
Yes.
Did you just remember where you were?
Yes.
What was the weight again that you had to lose?
It was 71,428 stone.
Is that a ton?
No, but you're on the right line.
Yes.
Keep calculating.
The stone.
It's the amount he's got to lose or drop, if you like.
Drop.
Drop.
Thank you for the word drop.
It's going the other way from ton, then, isn't it? Pound. The £1 million drop.
All right, your turn, Barry and Graeme. Your title's now being exhibited on the laser display board. And once again, the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Flog it. Flog it.
That's a TV show.
2 words.
2 words. Goes like this. Good Lord, I say, what are you going to do with that dead horse?
Yeah, funny when you know, isn't it?
My next line was going to be, I would have thought it was obvious. Obviously not.
Cheerio.
That's all you're giving us, is it?
That's all we're giving you.
Yeah.
Dead horse.
A dead horse, right.
X something?
Remember the question, what are you going to do with that dead horse?
Oh, what are you going to do?
We're going to bury it.
I don't believe this. We thought this would be over in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, but then
We've never heard that before.
What would you do with a dead horse?
Take
Burn
it to
it.
the tip. Is there a show called Take It to the Tip?
Oh, shooting. Shooting stars. Oh. Well, you'd shoot it.
What is there no point in doing to a dead horse?
Flogging it.
But what is the title?
Flog it.
Flog it, really.
Well done, Tim and Tony.
You can help us on the next one.
Let's try another round. Here's a further title going up on the laser display board for you, Tim and Tony.
You can consolidate your lead.
Thank you.
You're on a roll.
And once again, the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Pick of the week. Pick of the week.
It's a radio programme and it's got 4 words and it goes like this.
I'll take the puny one.
Oh, well, I'll take the anemic one then.
Good choice. I'll have the feeble one.
Well, I'll take the pale one.
I'll take the spineless, flimsy one.
I'll have the sick-looking one.
I'll take the pitiful, gutless one.
Oh, great, that's the best of them. You left me nothing. I'll just have to take Michael Gove then. It's got nothing to do with horses.
Anything to do with the week?
Yes.
Yes.
4 words.
Yeah.
What do you do with your nose?
Pick. Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Okay, well, the final title has been displayed for you, Barry and Graeme, and the mystery voice for listeners at home.
All about Eve. All about Eve.
It's a film. 3 words.
3 words. And it goes rather like this.
Hamish.
Dougal, you'll have had your tea.
Well, no, but I see you're up a ladder.
Oh, it's a lovely view from up here.
I wish I could say the same, but whatever are you doing up there?
Well, since you ask,
Yes.
I'm doing a little work on the underside of this projecting roof.
But Hamish, man, you know nothing about the care and maintenance of the underside of a projecting roof.
That's just where you're wrong, old friend. Look.
I'm trying not to.
No. Look at this wee book.
Oh,
Everything you need to know about the underside of projecting roofs.
so it is. But Chings, have you noticed?
What?
They've left the letter S off the end of the title.
So they have.
Could it be
looks
all
like
about-
the title of a film, doesn't it?
Could it be all about Eve?
Well, it's now time to play the game called Mornington Crescent. The first I noticed from the pile of correspondence spilling out of the fan mail shredder that we've received a letter. It comes from a Mrs. Trellis of North Wales. She writes, "Dear Sir or Madam, have you had that operation yet? Yours sincerely, Mrs. Trellis." So on with the game, which this week will be played to standard Olympic rules. So all locations with connections to Greece or Athens score double. Just one other thing. Greek Street is out of bounds, and so is Olympia. So, Tim, you can start.
Thanks very much. 7 Sisters. They're Greek.
Where's that kebab shop?
Tottenham Court Road.
Olive Road. I think there's a...
That's right.
You get extra points.
Olive Road, yes. He's got a double point on that.
I think we'd better ask Jack.
Yeah, but it doesn't know because olives aren't specific to Greece. They could be Spain, France, Italy, Asda, anywhere.
Tough.
Look, do you want it played properly or not? No point booing when you don't know the rules. So, Graeme.
Hellespont and Castle.
Ooh. You've been taking lessons. Bronze Street, South East 8. It's Olympic.
What's Olympic about Bronze Street?
Bronze. It's where you get
Again, bronze can apply to all kinds of things.
God, he's tough tonight.
I'm not...
Are you allowing that, Jack?
No, well, I'm not giving double points. It's allowed, but it's not double points.
Okay. Hammersmith Apollo.
Yes, that's double points to Barry.
Thank you.
Money well spent, Barry.
Am I allowed Alexander the Great Portland Street?
Oh, please.
Yeah, all right. Well, they're getting a bit...
No, you're flogging a dead horse there.
Right. The gloves are off. Cyclops House. You know where that is? It's One-Eyed Park Corner.
Don't push your luck, buddy.
Temple.
Temple. I've got a double coming up here. Mornington Crescent.
Well, we move on to a roundabout marketing now. In a recent customer survey, we discovered that 78% of our listeners dislike pointless statistics. The other 22% like statistics that look like two little ducks laying eggs. It's a joke that works better on the page, if I'm honest. Although we know him now as a scriptwriter to the stars, Barry Cryer's first job was in an advertising agency where he cut his teeth banging away at an old typewriter, and then someone told him you type with your fingers. I'll present the teams with the straplines of some genuine advertisements, and the team's task is to identify the product or organisation being advertised. So can we start with you, Tim? This is the advertising slogan. What's it for? Keep walking.
Virgin Trains.
It's actually Johnny Walker. Barry, here's one for you. What's the company this is advertising? You'll wonder where the yellow went.
Armitage Shanks.
It was actually Pepsodent. Graeme,
Yeah.
Do you eat the red ones last?
That's the Spring Watch Squirrel selection.
It's actually a Smarties advert. Tony, screw yourself.
The Nick Clegg story.
It's IKEA. Back to you, Tim. Say goodbye to the bag.
Divorce lawyers. Nothing personal at all.
It's a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Barry, top breeders recommend it.
Ann Summers.
It's a pedigree chum. Graeme, bet you can't eat three.
The Korean Kennel Club.
Well, it's shredded wheat, of course. Another one for you, Tony. Pick up a penguin.
The George VI Zoo.
Of course, there's penguin biscuits. Tim, you again. If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club.
The Euphemism Club.
Should we take a brief break? Here's some for any of you to have a go at. It's too orangey for crows. It's just for me and my dog.
Dale Winton Instant Tan.
It's Kia Aura. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
Do you really want to know? Let's try X-Lax.
It was actually Alka-Seltzer. Come home to a real fire.
The Afghanistan Tourist Board.
So it was the Cold Board. Last one. Snap, crackle, pop.
Dunstable Crematorium.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies.
Close.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the trawlerman of time hauls on the fishnets of fate, and the first mate tells him how good his legs look in them, I notice it's the end of the show. So from the team, Samantha, myself, and our audience here in Dunstable, it's goodbye. Goodbye!
Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden, Brooke-Taylor and Tony Hawks were being given silly things to do by Jack D, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme consultant was Ian Pattinson and the producer was John Naismith. We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin and your chairman is Jack D.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us this week in the city of Birmingham. The name Birmingham comes from the Old English word for the home or settlement of the Bear Mingus. Bear was an early Saxon tribal leader, while Mingers are usually out on a Friday night. In the 1890s, Birmingham High Court saw a legal case between the rival sanitary ware makers, James Armitage and Richard Shanks, who were in dispute over who owned the design rights to the urinal. However, the two realised their companies would benefit if they dropped the case and merged to manufacture the urinal together, so they agreed to shake on it. During World War II, Major Arthur Crossfield of the Intelligence Corps ran a top-secret unit here and is credited with shortening the war by some months when he took Italian nationality and immediately surrendered. Birmingham was the birthplace of Lloyd Copeman, the engineer who invented the electric toaster. At his funeral in 1952, Copeman's cremation was interrupted when, as his coffin went in, he kept popping up out of the top. Only half done. The Birmingham ventriloquist, Benny Morgan, performed here for many years. Morgan was never without his dummy and conversed with it incessantly, even when at home. Eventually, his wife cracked and physically attacked him. In court, Morgan claimed she tried to gash his brains out with a Gaskell gat. There's been a lot of debate recently about the cost of the proposed high-speed railway link from London, which is planned to shorten journey times. HS2 is forecast to cost £33 billion, but a recent study has proved you could save all that and still get to London 20 minutes sooner by catching the earlier train. We are today guests of Birmingham Symphony Hall, which is celebrating its 21st anniversary this year. Widely regarded as one of the world's greatest concert halls, when it was built, an acoustic test proved that if a pin was dropped on this stage, the sound could be heard from anywhere in the hall, a test which could be repeated any time in the next half hour. Let's meet the teams. On my left, Barry Cryer and Graeme Garden. And on my right, Brooke-Taylor and Jeremy Hardy. And eager as ever to handle the team's points, please welcome our scorer, the delightful Samantha. Okay, we start with a round where the teams will come up with things that have never been said. It's a round I've been looking forward to all week. Very funny. Hope it never ends. Sorry, teams, I seem to have started without you. So your suggestions, please, of statements that have never been made and are never likely to be. You could start, please, Graeme.
I hope you've brought your banjo.
Tim.
Take that grin off your face, Jack D.
Jeremy.
Yes, I have been to a harvester before.
Barry?
Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, come in.
Your mineral water, Mr. Cryer.
The name's Bond. Jimbo Bond.
That Jeremy Clarkson's a shy little devil, isn't he?
We quite like the dancing, but we just can't get enough of your funny jokes, Brucey. I'll tell you what's really good value for money these days. Handbags.
Jimmy Savile? I find that very hard to believe.
Well, the teams are going to sing for us now in the game called One Song to the Tune of Another. What will happen here is that the teams will take 4 songs and discard the words from them, leaving just the tunes. They will then attempt to sing the words of 4 more songs to these original 4 tunes to produce a series of tuneless mismatches with the wrong lyrics. Now, I can guess what everyone's thinking. Who decided it was a good idea to ruin a load of perfectly good songs in the guise of entertainment? Well, the producer of X Factor, for one. This game needs piano accompaniment. To be able to syncopate the wrong tune around lyrics sung by a non-professional singer while keeping the whole piece flowing seamlessly takes a rare musical skill. So rare, in fact, we've never found it. At the piano, Colin Sell. Okay, we'll start with you, Tim. I'd like you to sing the words of Milkshake by Khalees to the tune of Wonderful Copenhagen.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and their act is better than yours. Damn right it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge. I know you wanted the thing that makes me what the guys go crazy for. They lose their minds the way I wind. I think it's time, la 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 wah. Warm it up, the boys are waiting, ole.
Okay, Barry, I'd like you to sing the words of the conga to the tune of Summertime.
Do, do, do. Come on and do the conga. Do, do, do. It's conga night for sure. It's conga night. So join the party, everyone. The night has just begun, and we're all having fun tonight. Dance that conga till you drop, we're never gonna stop. You better hang on tight, so everybody do. Come on and do the conga choo-choo-choo. That train across the floor. You. Come on and join the conga.
Just a reminder, that was Barry Cryer singing there for all of you listeners at home coming back from the kitchen. It's your turn now, Jeremy, and I'd like you to sing the words of Common People. They're taking the piss, Jeremy. I'd like you to sing the words of Common People by Pulp to the tune of the Toreador's March.
She came from Greece, she had a thirst for knowledge. She studied sculpture at St. Martin's College. That's where I caught her eye. She told me that her dad was loaded. I said, in that case I will have a rum and Coca-Cola. She said, fine, and in 30 seconds time she said, I want to live like common people. I want to do whatever common people do. I want to sleep with common people. I want to sleep with common people like you. Well, what else could I do?
That was Jeremy Hardy there, and the good people of Birmingham who found an ingenious way of drowning the noise out. Finally, Graeme, I'd like you to sing the words of the Muppet Show theme to the tune of the chorus of the Hebrew slaves.
It's time to play the music, it's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight. It's time to put on makeup, it's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on the Muppet Show tonight. But now it's getting started, why don't you get things started? It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Muppetational. This is what we call the Muppet Show.
Well, we move on now to the game called Word for Word, where random words follow each other so they make no logical sense. So teams think recent BBC press statements. Tim and Jeremy, you can start exchanging your random words, while Barry and Graeme, you should listen carefully and challenge with a buzzer to take over play if you detect a connection. So off you go, Tim and Jeremy.
Mandolin.
Pulchritude.
Parsnips.
Horse.
Culinary.
Delphinium.
Heckle.
Hemorrhoid.
Barry, you've challenged there.
Over-heckling creates hemorrhoids. They experience stress when they're sitting down and heckle, and it leads to an increase in hemorrhoids.
Yeah. I thought that was a space opera you'd brought on with you, Barry.
It's a commode, if you're asking.
Well, I think you're obviously speaking from experience, Barry, and we'll take that as a correct challenge. So it's Graeme and Barry to take over.
Wait.
What?
That was my word.
Stop.
Carburettor.
Coriander.
Horse.
Timmers.
It's Corrie and her horse. She has a lovely horse, and she mounts it beautifully. Or sometimes it mounts her. Anyway, it's Corrie.
Who is this?
Corrie.
Yes, and
horse.
Would we know her? From what connection?
You would know her if you could, but
sorry,
you know.
Is she on television, or is she a celebrity, or what?
She's in Coronation Street.
Sorry, is Tim broken? No, I think that was an incorrect challenge. I think you took.
Really?
I actually don't even understand what the basis of it was. It hasn't counted, but don't let that put you off. Try again later. Yes, Tim.
Hesitation.
I'm afraid you're in the wrong time zone there. No, it's back to you, Graeme and Barry.
Us?
Yeah.
That was my word.
Them.
Nevertheless.
Jollification.
Likely.
Yes, Tim.
It's not likely.
Well, it was sounding like the shipping forecast. Yes, Tim. So Tim and Jeremy, you've correctly challenged.
Marsupial.
Carpet.
Butterfly.
Fish.
Kebab.
Dance.
Graeme.
Fish kebab.
Yes, that's a perfectly legitimate challenge that you so clumsily fell into. So over to you, Graeme and Barry.
Barry.
Yeah.
That's my word.
Kangaroo.
Marsupial.
Oh, wait, what does this button do? Oh. Yes, I forgot it. Ends the game when people aren't taking it seriously. The next round takes a look at TV and radio programs. The post-war baby boom generation was the first to benefit from TV being an extension of their education through science and nature programs. However, Tim was telling us he remembers as a teenager sitting with his parents watching a wildlife program featuring a pair of chimpanzees and the embarrassment caused when suddenly they started mating vigorously. Tim said he had to try to pretend he hadn't noticed by watching the chimpanzees. Most programming these days smacks of laziness, and this especially applies to the titles. So I'll ask the teams to introduce some programs that have been commissioned solely on the basis of a lazily contrived punning title. Graeme.
This afternoon, another in our series of pointless things to do with a dead horse. That's Flog It at 4:30.
Jeremy?
Coming up on Radio 4, a special feature on the Liberal Democrats. That's The Week in Westminster.
Barry.
Coming up on BBC Two, we examine the will of eccentric American millionaire Howard Hughes and why he left his entire Jackson Pollock collection to his pet Alsatian. That's the Dogs Pollocks after the news.
Coming up on BBC 4, Terry Christian examines the role of the Face magazine in the shaping of contemporary British music and fashion. That's us about Face in half an hour.
On Radio 4, a new series about a community of mutants who live in a network of tunnels and caves beneath the village of Ambridge. That's Underneath the Archers, tonight at 7.
Coming up on BBC One, Tim Wonnacott looks at rhyming slang in Bargain Hunt.
Later this evening, Brian Blessed will be on hand to show us how to brew a proper Yorkshire cuppa. That's E.T. at 9 o'clock.
The next game concerns inventions, and it's a tribute to those who work tirelessly inventing things, such as the South Yorkshire Police Force. Inventions are often a reflection of who they were conceived by. So it's sometimes said that a telephone rings because it was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. What a shame it wasn't invented by Donald Trump. Now, in this round, the teams have each come along with a mystery invention, and the object of the game is for the inventors to discover what their invention is from the questions put by journalists at a press conference. Barry and Graeme, you're our first inventors, and the identity of your mystery invention will now be exhibited to our theatre audience via the laser display screen. And for listeners at home, here's the mystery voice.
A mind-reading machine. A mind-reading machine.
And so journalists Tim and Jeremy, stand by with your questions, and off you go.
Right, well, we've got your gadget in front of us, so let's just turn that on. Yeah. Right, well, it should be in operation now, so tell us, how does it work?
Well, you turn it on, and the first thing it should do is to make a strange sort of noise. Did it do that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm wearing Y fronts, but I really don't think it's any of your business. What was the eureka moment that made you actually think of this amazing invention?
I think it was Graeme.
Yeah, it was, yes. Yeah, I turned to Barry and said, "What's that idea you had?"
Yes.
Are you worried that it will, potentially put some people out of business, like psychotherapists, for example? I mean, it'll all process will be over in seconds, wouldn't it?
I think they'll make great use of it.
Do you think there'll be more divorces?
Oh, that's hypothetical.
Yes,
I would
think...
never presume.
Barry, we'll go to the pub in a minute. Just calm down.
Yeah. Well, let's try it on the audience. Oh, OK, let's move on then.
The lady in the front row, if you want to see what I look like naked, I do have some photographs which you can... I'm happy to sign at the stage door.
Can I just say that with our device in front of you there...
Yes.
Why are you asking us all these questions?
Well, that's a good point. It was just so predictable that you were going to say that.
Yeah.
You'd like to tell us what the machine is?
It's called Mindo, the mind-reading machine.
Yeah.
Very good. OK, it's your turn to be the inventors, Tim and Jeremy, while Barry and Graeme will be the journalists, and the identity of Tim and Jeremy's mystery invention will now be revealed via the lazy display screen. And the mystery voice for listeners at home.
The Dyson toothbrush. The Dyson toothbrush.
Well, this, I think, is probably a sort of an improved version of the normal example of this sort of thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's vastly improved. It's,
Vastly,
a
yeah.
new generation.
It's the new, yes.
You've moved on, haven't you? You've moved on. Looks very impressive. I
Yes.
must say.
Thank you very much.
And we've plugged it in this time, so we're hoping for great things now.
Yeah.
How big is it? Can you describe it?
I'd say it was big.
We were thinking big. I mean, when you're an inventor, you sort of think big
don't
always.
think
About
small.
the size of Wales, actually.
So where would you keep it if you had one of these?
In my trousers. Well, there's not much room in there, let me tell you.
Well, we have one here, and we're looking at it. Before we switch it on or try it out, are there any safety features? Any?
Well, the goggles are very important.
You have to wear goggles when using.
And earth yourself.
Yeah.
Don't stand in any puddles.
No.
Don't run with it.
No.
And
Sounds good.
Stand
Understood.
back and put on this leather apron. Actually, I just wanted to see what you look like in goggles and a leather apron. You can take them off now.
We could give it a try.
Yes, by all means.
give it a
You
go.
game for that?
By all means.
We'll give it a go.
Okay, Barry, open up your mouth.
Okay.
Don't really.
Oh.
Now we must move on now.
I'll say this, they're very clean.
Obviously, you'd want something that would clean teeth
Yes.
very well.
Yes. In its advanced form.
In its advanced form, a futuristic.
It might
teeth
have a
cleaning.
brand
Futuristic.
name even.
Yeah.
It might, yeah, we haven't thought of a brand name yet, but we were thinking of maybe the Dyson. Is that what it is?
The Dyson toothbrush, yes.
Dyson toothbrush.
Dyson.
Very good. Right, well, let's try that one more time with Barry and Graeme as the inventors, and the identity of your final invention, Barry and Graeme, now be displayed to our theatre audience. And here again is the mystery voice for listeners at home.
A wind-powered radio. A wind-powered radio.
Well, Barry and Graeme, obviously in this time of awareness about climate change, this is a wonderful step forward. That
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Clearly, it's absolutely sustainable.
That's what we were aiming for, absolutely, yes, sustainable, yes.
And what else were you aiming for?
Just sustainable.
What do you think its main uses will be?
Sustaining.
Yeah. Well, obviously that in itself is a worthwhile thing.
Oh, it is, yes.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
But of course, it's great, it's sustainable, it's ecological. But of course, it's rather dependent on the weather being.
On the weather being, yeah.
That is true.
Being appropriate.
Oh,
Being
yes,
appropriate,
obviously.
yes,
So
yes.
is there a backup when that isn't happening? Have you?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So that's what the bag of sprouts is about. You've got there.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try and tune it in now. Oops.
Yeah,
Let's.
There are warnings of gales in Thames, Dover, Wight, Biscay,
Oh, well,
Trafalgar,
that's-
Fitzroy, Hebrides, Bailey, Fair Isle, Faroes.
Right, well, you won't need the bag of sprouts in that case if there are gales.
Now, on Radio 4, The Moral Maze.
Ah, the moral maze. Well, there'd be plenty there to keep it going if you... lot of old ones on there. So
that's our most sustainable source.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just going to... Let's see how it... Oh, no, it seems to have died. Let's give it a bit of a boost here. I'm going to try it again. Let's see. Oh, no, it's died again. Here we go. So obviously it's going to be fantastically popular among vegetarians.
Yes.
And so what's the name that you have for this device?
Well, it's copyright at the moment. We can't divulge that. There's a court case going on as we speak.
Yeah, we were going to call it the wind-up radio, but we found that... And it's also available as a suppository.
Well, it's very nearly the end of the show, but there is just time for a round of the Entomologists Film Club. Samantha has to go now, as she's off to help an entomologist friend who's preparing exhibits from his collection of large European beetles. Samantha says she's looking forward to mounting his longhorn in the Natural History Museum. So while she's away dealing with that, I'll ask you teams to suggest titles of movies that might appeal to an audience of insect collectors. You could start, please, Barry.
Lady Chattel is lava.
Tim.
The Sting.
Jeremy.
Up pupae.
Graeme.
Born Flea.
Cockroach Orange.
Moth by Moth West.
Cicada they hum. Bluebottle Hawaii. The Bluebottle Brothers. So I married a thorax murderer.
The Weevil Wears Prada.
The Social Network.
12 Angry Bees.
Flea Willy.
Bring me the head lice of Alfredo Garcia.
Oh, yes.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the chainsaw of time smashes the tobacconist display of destiny and the lumberjack of fate is told he's supposed to be cutting ash trees, not ashtrays, I notice it's the end of the show. So from the team, Samantha, myself and our audience here in Birmingham, it's goodbye. Goodbye.
Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Jeremy Hardy were being given silly things to do by Jack D, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme consultant was Ian Pattinson and the producer was John Naismith. We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin and your chairman is Jack D.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us this week on a second visit to the city of Birmingham. According to the city's official guidebooks, Birmingham has more miles of canals than Venice, a fact that must have the Venice Tourist Board quaking in their boots. Britain's earliest bicycle factory was at nearby Meriden. Their first model was the penny farthing, which had a front wheel 5 feet in diameter and a rear wheel of just 18 inches. So they sacked the quality control officer. Bicycles and later motorcycles were made here by BSA, who started out as the Birmingham Small Arms Company because they made coats and jackets with very short sleeves. In the 1950s, bicycles were fitted with gears by Sturmey Archer, one of the few characters in Ambridge ever to have a real job. The women's fashion expert, collector and historian Wayne Peterson lectures on his subject at Birmingham Institute. He recounts how he once got stuck in a lift with the roly-polies when he thought he'd died and gone to Evans. The marine engineer Edward Armstrong was born here. He devised an improved aqualung, which he tested by attempting to break the world record for staying underwater off the coast near Hull. Sadly, the attempt ended early when he was caught in a trawler net and was landed on a deck with a load of cod. His family said he was gutted. We are today guests of Birmingham Symphony Hall, which was opened 21 years ago by Her Majesty the Queen. The Symphony Hall has since welcomed many of the world's greatest musical artists, finest orchestras, international public figures, and world-famous entertainers. And when it comes to describing today's performers, it's no exaggeration to say there are 4 of them. On my left, Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden. And on my right, Brooke-Taylor and Jeremy Hardy. And ready to score on her desk, please welcome the delightful Samantha. Okay, well, we kick off today with a round of the Uxbridge English Dictionary. The English language has many different words which appear to be similar, and this can lead to confusion, for example, between the terms resurrection and exhumation. Well, the difference is that exhumation was originally digging up a body, but can also mean to reintroduce something that was long forgotten or neglected, whereas if your resurrection lasts more than 4 hours, you should call a doctor. However, meanings are constantly changing, teams, so let's hear any new definitions you may have spotted recently. Tim, can you start?
Very chewed, well munched.
Jeremy.
Owl porn, muesli with dirty bits.
Barry.
Plebiscite, the gates at the House of Commons.
Graeme.
Kookaburra, a town where they make stoves.
Suffolk, next to Kent.
Barcode, a poem written by a dog.
Soya milk, looked in your fridge.
Picturesque, like a jug.
Marionette, what you do when you've been engaged to Annette.
Nicaragua, underwear for big cats.
Navigate, scandal involving workmen.
Mariachi, what you do when you've been engaged to Archie.
Mingling, a junior minger.
Delegate, scandal involving Jewish catering.
Tie-dye, a neat brummie. Which they all are, of course.
Toils, what brummies have on their roofs.
Propagate, rather respectable scandal.
Falsetto, fake ice cream.
Comforting, Jamaican lost property.
Well, it's time for the teams to sing now, and just when you thought this couldn't get any better, it doesn't. The round is called Pick Up Song, and it's where the teams sing along to some well-known discs. Samantha is back at the turntable and ready to give the discs a spin. You should sing along, teams, until she turns the volume down. If, when the music returns, you're within a gnat's crotchet of the original, I'll be awarding points, and points mean prizes. Hi campers. Well, this week's prize is sure to delight everyone who enjoys cooking their eggs and bacon without ever feeling restricted by clammy underwear. It's this handsome set of non-stick frying pans. So, Barry, you're to start, and I'd like you to accompany Jackie Wilson singing Reet Petite.
Well, look a bell, look a bell, look a bell, look a bell. Ooh-wee. Look a bell, look a bell, look a bell. Ooh-wee. Oh-wee. Well, she's so fine. She's so fine. She's so fine. She's so fine. She's really sweet, the finest girl you ever want to meet. Oh. Read a bit cheap, the finest girl.
Barry Cryer there. Barry, of course, has the advantage of not actually realising the music has faded out. So you're next, Graeme. I'd like you to accompany Charles Trenet singing La Mer.
La mer, qu'on voit danser le long des golfes clairs, à de reflets d'argent la mer, des reflets changeants sous la pluie, la mer, au ciel d'été, confond ces blonds moutons avec les anges si purs, la mer, bergère d'azur infinie. Voyez, près des entrants, ces grands, ces grands.
So you now, Tim, and would you accompany Girls Aloud singing Love Machine?
Ladies, you're damn right, you can't read a man's mind. We're living in two tribes and heading for war. Nobody's perfect, we all gotta work it. But fellas, we're worth it, so don't break the law. Your call's late, big mistake. You gotta hang up on a limo for as long as I take. Next time, read my mind and I'll be good to you. We're gift wrapped, kitty cats. We're only turning into tigers and we gotta fight back. Let's go, Eskimo, out into the blue. Come take my hand, understand that you can. You're my man, and I need you tonight. Come make my dreams, honey, hard as it seems. Loving me is as easy as pie. I'm just a love machine, feeding my fantasy. Give me a kiss or three. Yeah.
And finally, Jeremy. So can you please accompany local band Duran Duran singing Hungry Like the Wolf?
In the city, night is the wire. Steam in the subway, earth is a fire. Do 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 do. Woman, you want me, give me a sign, and catch my breathing even closer behind. Do 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 do. He touched with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Smell like a sound, I'm lost in the crowd, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Straddle the line into Scott and rhyme. I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. The mouth is alive, we just like wine.
This really is the show that has something for everyone. For Jeremy, we've got temazepam. Well, it's time for some acting now as we move on to sound charades. This was developed from the old TV show called Give Us a Clue, where silent mimes never cease to amuse the audience. This version is a reverse of that. Tim and Jeremy, you're to start, please, and your title will shortly be displayed to the audience via the laser display screen. And for listeners at home, here's the mystery voice.
Paint your wagon. Paint your wagon.
Right, you're guessing this one, Barry and Graeme. And audience, please feel free to clap if they're getting warm. So off you go, Tim and Jeremy.
It's 3 words. It's a film and a musical. Would you?
Yeah, musical.
Okay, it goes something like this.
I feel really bad because I haven't got like a wife or a girlfriend. I'm the only fella in the squad who doesn't have a wife or a girlfriend.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because all the other guys have got like tattoos with the name of their wife or girlfriend,
right,
like on their arm or something. I mean, what can I do? I mean, I could get like a tattoo, but that might really hurt. And what's the point? I don't even have a wife or girlfriend.
Well, we can make up a name, can't we? And we can be superficial, you know.
Like get a fake tattoo?
Yeah, that's right. If you've got a bit of Dulux, crown and farrow and ball, you know, you could just slap it on.
With a brush, like?
You've got it right.
Just like use a brush and some Dulux to put the name of me wife or girlfriend. Right? Well, that sounds like a great idea.
OK.
Well, I've got it, obviously, but over to Graeme.
I think it's paint my wag on.
Excellent.
So it's your turn, Barry and Graeme, and your title is now being exhibited on the board. And here again is the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Skyfall. Skyfall.
Oh, yeah, right. Made a film of that, have they?
Yes.
Right. It's a film.
It's a film.
It's one word.
One word.
Yeah.
Bambi.
Skyfall.
Shut up.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Shall we do it for you?
Do it, and I'll pretend that I'll just have a minor stroke, and I won't remember a thing.
We'll do it for you.
This never leaves this room, okay?
Hamish.
Dougal. You'll have had your tea.
No. Great news, Hamish. I've booked us a 2-week holiday on the biggest and most beautiful island in the Inner Hebrides.
I'm not going there again. Not after last time.
What happened last time?
You know that. I took a terrible tumble halfway up the Coolins, as you very well know.
It was a wee stumble.
I rolled down the hill into that group of nuns.
Why?
I could never show my face there again.
It wasn't your face you showed the last time.
Octopussy. I think it might be Skyfall. Honestly, when this is edited, you won't recognise it. Because it's Gardener's question time.
Let's try another round of that. Here's a further title going up on the laser display board for you, Tim and Jeremy. And the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe.
OK.
Here we go.
It's 2 words, a book, a film, and probably several other things.
TV series, pretty much everything.
It goes like this.
Enrico, my best tenor client ever here in Italy.
Giuseppe, my best ever agent ever here in the 1920s. What's the matter for you?
What's the matter for me? I'm in accent hell. I got the great news.
Nicholas Parsons has a laryngitis?
Not that great, but pretty good. I got you the sponsorship deal.
Sponsorship?
It's from England, from a fine manufacturer of lemon barley water.
Is it the famous one? Before you answer, remember other citrus fruit-based soft drinks are available. But I sense a catch.
For an Italian, you sound like a public school boy from Derbyshire. You have to change your name first, so no more Enrico.
So what am I called now?
You are called... ...
I know. Robinson Crusoe.
Yes.
OK, final title has been displayed for you, Barry and Graeme, and once again, the mystery voice for listeners at home.
QI. QI.
It's a TV show, and it's 2 words.
Complete change of mood here for you.
Bargain hunt.
You're in league with the devil.
Hamish!
Dougal, you'll have had your tea.
I have more important business than tea. I am here to request you to stop winking at me.
I am doing no such thing.
But look, there, you did it again.
Oh, you mean this?
Yes.
This is an unfortunate medical condition brought about by playing too much snooker.
Pray expand.
Oh, I nearly did. The doctor says it comes from the strain of squinting down that long wooden stick.
Oh, and has it a name, this condition of yours?
Of course it does.
Oh.
They call it ...
A condition that arises from playing too much snooker.
Yes.
Pocket billiards.
QI.
Yes.
Well, our next round is an educational exercise looking at the world of catchphrases and figures of speech, often referred to as idioms. Now, an idiom is a metaphorical figure of speech whose real meaning is completely different from its literal meaning. This can confuse foreign visitors, creating huge difficulty to make themselves understood. Another good way is to pretend to be deaf. I have a selection of incomplete catchphrases and figures of speech, and the team's challenge is to guess what the original endings might have been. So here's the first one for you, Tim. Wham, bam.
George Michael's driven into a wall.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Barry.
Yes?
You are awful, but...
You're still through to the next round.
Well, I like you. Jeremy. Coughs and sneezes
are no bar to employment at Subway.
It was, of course, coughs and sneezes spread diseases. Graeme. It takes Tutu.
It takes Tutu half an hour to get into his bishop's kit.
It takes 2 to tango. Back to you, Tim. Don't count your chickens before...
You've got past Tesco's security, Mr. Worrell Thompson.
Barry, I've started, so I'll...
Just hope that doesn't happen again.
Jeremy, long time no...
Learn grammar.
Long time no see, of course. Finally, Graeme. The bigger they are, the harder.
It is to find pants that fit.
The harder they fall. Well, here is some for any of you to have a go at. The customer is always...
A passenger when on a train, not a bloody customer. Get it? A passenger.
Laugh, I nearly...
Shot myself.
Nearly wet myself. Never give a sucker a...
Smash on the back of the head.
Should we take a few minutes to think about that? It's music time again with Just a Minute. This is a musical version of the long-running radio favourite Just a Minute, which has been on the air since 1967. So this year, the BBC celebrated the anniversary by flying the Just a Minute team to India to record a special edition. I'm sorry, I haven't a clue, has just marked 40 years on air, and last week we were at a travel lodge near Dunstable. In just a minute, the teams will attempt to sing a well-known song without hesitation, deviation or repetition, while piano accompaniment is provided by Colin Sell. Colin was telling us that he'll soon be seen performing as a rapper. So if you're out buying Christmas presents, look out for him with his sellotape and scissors. Jeremy, you're starting this one, and the song I'd like you to sing without hesitation, deviation or repetition is Going to the Zoo.
Daddy's taking us to the zoo tomorrow, zoological garden. What?
Deviation from the tune.
Tim, very quick to challenge there. We don't normally hear from you so soon in the show, do we, Tim? But you seem to be wide awake on this occasion, despite your advancing years. And Tim, a great veteran of the game, as we know, although not the war because he didn't sign up. So with only 84 seconds left, you have Going to the Zoo.
Where are we going from?
Zoo tomorrow, zoo tomorrow.
And Graeme has challenged there.
Hesitation.
There was a hesitation there. It was Graeme, of course, who's been playing this game for many, many years and is so veteran. He has been on the show for more times, over more years than anyone else, but still keeps coming back to us because all his real friends are dead. So over to you, Graeme, with only 80 seconds left of the song.
Father's taking us to the Whipsnade the day after today. We can stay all afternoon. We're going to the Regent's Park, to the Zoological Gardens, the place. How about you?
And Barry has challenged, which Graeme means you have to stop once you've been challenged.
It was just mercy. I was trying to put him out of his agony at that point.
Well, really.
Not strictly speaking a proper challenge, but the audience enjoyed it so much. I'm going to give you 10 points, Barry. Thank you. And remember, this programme goes out not just in this glorious United Kingdom of England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, the Channel Isles, the Isle of Man and the Isle of Dogs, but also to Her Britannic Majesty's Soviet Republic of China, North Korea, South Korea and West Bromwich. But the song is still yours, Graeme, and everything is to play for with only 14 seconds to go. With Going to the Zoo, over to you, Graeme.
You can come too as well also. The lot of us are heading for the place where they keep the animals. You know the one. I don't need to tell you.
Graeme was losing the will to live, so I blew my whistle. We have another song now, and it's a second round. And the song in this round is Happy Talk from South Pacific. And Jeremy, I'm going to ask you to start.
Happy talk, keep speaking contented blether. Chat about things you'd like to do. You got to have a dream. If you don't have a reverie, how you going to have...
Barry has challenged there.
Repetition of have.
No. There was
a popular interruption. No, I'm sorry to be...
The audience have picked up on your pedantry, but you are correct to point out that he did repeat the word have, and of course that spoils it for everyone, doesn't it, Barry?
Yes. I'm self-taught,
so we have to pick him up on it and start all over again. But Jeremy was singing so nicely there that time has flown and there is only a second left to go. Barry has to pick up with Happy Talk with 1 second to go. Happy Talk from South Pacific. Barry, go now.
If you don't possess...
Well, it's very nearly the end of the show, but there is just time to fit in a round of the Shepherd's Songbook. And the teams are going to suggest titles of songs that might appeal to shepherds and their sheep. You can start this one, please, Graeme.
The Only Way is Tup.
Barry?
Barbara Ann.
Tim?
Put your sheep dips a little closer to the phone.
Jeremy?
I Wanna Sex You Up by Colour Me Bad.
Come by, my lord.
You ain't mutton but a hound dog.
Good collie, Miss Molly.
Shut up, or your fleece.
Once I had a secret love.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the white horse of time goes into the pub of destiny and the barman of fate says, you're a horse, you can't speak, and you don't drink beer, so get out. I notice it's the end of the show. So from the teams, Samantha, myself, and our audience here in Birmingham, it's goodbye. Goodbye.
Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Jeremy Hardy were being given silly things to do by Jack D, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme consultant was Ian Pattinson and the producer was John Naismith. We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin Sell, and your chairman is Jack D.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us this week on a visit to the city of Preston in the county of Lancashire. Probably Preston's most famous historical figure is Richard Arkwright. Born here in 1732, Arkwright made Preston the centre of the cotton manufacturing industry. He amassed a fortune from his water frame, a cotton yarn machine, and spinning Jenny, a pole dancer from Blackburn. On the 5th of December 1958, Britain's first ever stretch of motorway was opened. The M6, Preston Bypass, a revolutionary 6-lane highway. However, within weeks, huge tailbacks developed as motorists drove there from all over the country to sample the delight of avoiding Preston. Remembering a glorious industrial past, Preston is proud of its Museum of Textiles, where visitors can see demonstrations of 19th century methods of cotton cloth production and the use of dyes. But that's not the only place you can see people dyeing in public with 200-year-old material. Let's meet the teams. On my left, Barry Cryer and Graeme Garden. And on my right, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Victoria Wood. And preparing to enjoy the action on the desk next to me, please welcome our scorer, the delightful Samantha. Okay, teams, let's get on with it. We don't want to be here all night. Don't want to be here any night. We start with a round of missed hits. I'd like you, please, to suggest films, books and TV or radio shows that flopped because they lacked a decent title. Could you start us, Barry?
Alice in Sunderland.
Tim?
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Commerce.
Victoria?
We need to walk about, Kevin.
Graeme?
A Quantum of Sausage.
One Foot in the Gravy.
Breakfast at Stephanie's.
With Nail and Hammer.
50 Shades of Beige.
Just an Hour with Nicholas Parsons.
Homeland.
The Devil Wears Primark.
Glove Story.
An American Warehouse in London. Bring me the rest of Alfredo Garcia.
Well, the teams are going to sing for us now in the musical challenge round called One Song to the Tune of Another. This is where each team member sings the wrong words to musical backing. The team's piano accompaniment will be provided by Colin. Listeners might be amused to hear that at last week's recording the piano lid was down and the key was missing. And then we discovered someone in the audience was an emergency locksmith. I had to pay him 75 quid to keep quiet. OK, well, we'll start with you, Barry. I'd like you to sing the words of Highway to Hell by AC/DC to the tune of George Formby's Leaning on a Lamppost.
I'm on the highway to hell, on the highway to hell, highway to hell, I'm on the highway to hell. No stop signs, speed limits, nobody's gonna slow me down. Like a wheel, gonna spin it, nobody's gonna mess me around. Hey, Satan, pay my dues, playing in a rocking band. Hey, mama, look at me, on my way to the promised land. I'm on the highway to hell, and I'm going down.
You now, Tim, I'd like you to sing the words of I'm Too Sexy to the tune of They'll Always Be in England.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me, I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy it hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan. And I'm too sexy for your party too, sexy for your party, no way I'm disco dancing. I'm a model, you know what I mean, and I do my little turn on the catwalk, yeah, on the catwalk. On the catwalk, yeah, I do my little turn on the catwalk. I'm too sexy for my car, too sexy for my car, too sexy by far.
Graeme, now I'd like you to sing the words of Widdicombe Fair to the tune of Save Your Love by Renee and Renato.
Tom Pierce, lend me your grey mare. All along, down, along, out, along Lee. For I want to go to Widdicombe Fair with Bill Brewer, John Stewart, Peter Gurney, Peter Davy, Dan Whitten, Harry Hawke, old Uncle Tom Cobley and all. And when shall I see again my grey mare? All along, down, along, out, along Lee. By Friday noon or Saturday soon will Bill Brewer, Dan Stewart, Peter Gurney, Peter Davy, Dan Whitten, Harry Hawke, old Uncle Tom Cobley and all.
Extraordinary, thank you. Finally, Victoria, I'd like you to sing the words of Roxanne to the tune of the theme from Neighbours.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red lights. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night. Roxanne, you don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right. Roxanne. to put on. The red light, Roxanne, put on. The red light, Roxanne, put on the red light. Roxanne, put on the red light. Roxanne.
Well, the next game is called Word for Word, and it's where players take turns to exchange a series of words which must have no possible connection. So, if words like news and night were followed by piss up and brewery, then that would be perfectly allowable. OK, Barry and Graeme, can you start exchanging your random words, please, while Tim and Victoria, you should challenge to take over if you spot a connection.
Ready?
Yeah.
That was my word.
Oh.
Steady.
Straw.
Alibi.
Putty.
Porcelain.
Squeak.
And
Porcelain squeaks.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
No,
It's squeaky
if it's
clean.
good and you rub your thumb on it, it squeaks.
Squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, Victoria said, and she's always right, so... yeah, so, Victoria and Tim, over to you.
Confit.
Follicle.
Wok.
Duck.
Connection between wok and duck is hardly worth explaining. I've often woked a duck, he said. He said carefully. I've ducked a wok in my time as well.
I've seen you walk like a duck.
It wasn't a duck, it was to duck.
And,
so
as in
get
a
out
verb.
of that, crier.
A verb.
A verb.
Yeah, it was a verb.
Yeah, well, I've
You link a verb with a wok.
Has anyone ever thrown a wok at you?
That's what I was hinting
What do you
at.
do?
No, I think you're splitting hairs, Barry and Graeme.
Yes,
I'm going to allow duck and wok. I think completely unconnected.
Thank
so
you.
please carry on.
Oh, dear.
Forceps.
Architrave.
Pantomime.
Bat.
Graeme.
I know for a fact Tim once played the back half of a pantomime bat.
I didn't think anybody knew that.
Nobody could hear you.
Pardon?
If that is true, Tim, then
is
you have been found out.
Yep.
I think Graeme and Barry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was my word.
Gracias.
Whip.
We're meant to use English words
Where does it say that?
in the Bible.
Gracias is perfectly acceptable. So, yes, carry on, please.
Oh, I see.
Graeme, yeah.
Me.
Yes. Well, the next game is called Word for Word. And it's where players... this is the next game. We've just done that.
Jack.
Yeah.
That's my word.
Oh, shut up. It's like waking from a bad dream. The next round is an entirely new experience that no audience has ever seen before. So imagine you're at the second half of An Evening with Nicholas Parsons. OK, the idea is that one team will play a favourite game of theirs while the opposing team should attempt to guess the name of the game. OK, Tim and Victoria. The title of your game will now be advertised to the audience via the laser display board. And for listeners at home, here's the mystery voice.
Top trumps. Top trumps.
Off we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful view. You can see everything from the top of here.
Okay, I'm going to K2. Oh, it's very beautiful from here too.
So, yes, Barry and Graeme, what game were they playing?
The game, is it? High wind? No, it's... is it Donald Trump? No, it can't be. Oh!
High...
Trump. Trumps. Top trumps.
The next round is called 84 Chicken Cross Road, a title that has a fascinating derivation, I expect. The game is all about the art of letter writing, a process which has changed beyond measure in this electronic age of computers and iPhones. Back in the 60s, when Barry Cryer started work in an office, the first thing he did was to get a typist. Nice girls, those ties, but they can't take a drink. Well, in this round, each team take it in turns to improvise the letters sent between two famous people, Tim and Victoria. I'd like you to start by composing a letter from Lancashire-born suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst to the Archbishop of Canterbury. And then Barry and Graeme will come up with the reply, and so on. The challenge is that the letters must be constructed by each panellist, alternating one word at a time. So off you go, please, Tim and Victoria.
Your
Grace,
I
am
writing
to
moan
about
the
decision
not
to
have
women
bishops.
It's
Ludicrous
that
you
do
nothing
about
it.
I
Am
very
tall.
in
My
high
clogs.
I
Wish
you
would
die.
then
I
would
be
a
bishop.
yours
Very
sincerely
Emmeline.
Pankhurst.
Dear,
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 dear.
dear,
I
was
very
upset
to
receive
your
a letter,
sweet
though
it
was,
bless
bless,
and
furthermore,
your
style
intrigues,
me,
especially
your
high
flown,
clogs.
which
I
see
as
a
step
forward
for
women
of
a
certain
age.
nevertheless
I
condemn
this
attitude.
because
You
are
a
formidable,
yet
raucous,
although
beguiling
young
woman
who
could
very
easily
be
an
addition
to
my
family.
so
There
we
have
it.
in
Conclusion,
I
would
like
to
assure
you
that
my
attitude
is
quite,
benevolent.
although
Kinky
and
somehow.
misunderstood.
So
Therefore,
I
will
offer
you
the
comfort
and
solace
of
my
home
in
Canterbury,
where
you
will
find
the
clogs
and
costumes
for
you
to
wear
when
you
do
your
ironing.
bless
You,
My
child,
yours,
hypocritically.
Cantua.
Oh, thank you. There's no need to be so rude at the end there, Graeme. Now it's time for a popular favourite, Gardener's Question Tim. The only downside to this gardening question and answer session is that Tim knows virtually nothing about gardening. We were saying earlier he's no idea what time of year you should prune your chlamydia. So the other team members have agreed to help Tim to answer tricky questions from any one of the nation's top gardeners. So, our first question, please. You, sir, who are you and what's your question?
Hello, Tim. Alan Titchmarsh here. I'm told that my Hoover might hold the answer to juicier tomatoes. Is this true?
Yes, Alan, if you've hoovered up a pamphlet telling you how to grow juicier tomatoes.
Oh, it's very good advice.
Yeah, thank you.
The best source for the trace elements that tomato plants crave is fluff from your vacuum cleaner.
Oh.
Right, just grow them on a carpet. Okay, another question, please.
Hello, Alan here. My grandfather used to stuff egg boxes into his garden hedge and swore it was the secret to healthy flowers. Why did he do this?
Well, Alan, for much the same reason he used to put toast in the CD player and forget to wear his trousers.
Okay, can we have a question from someone else?
Hello, I'm Monty Don. My wife and I recently bought 2 dogs, and I'm dismayed that the bitch is urinating on the lawn. It's causing unsightly brown patches. Is there anything I can do about this?
You could ask her to stop.
The answer here is nothing kills grass faster than dog urine, and particularly the urine of a bitch dog. Happily, the chemical in the urine that kills the grass can be neutralised by tomato juice. Just add 1.5 tablespoons to the dog's food in the morning, and who can be bothered? I mean, really. Another question, please.
Hi, Bob Flowerdew speaking. I'm told if windy, I should get rid of weeds using an old roll-on deodorant. How?
Unscrew top and push up bottom.
The answer we're looking for is if it's too windy to spot weed, using a watering can. Instead, put the weed killer liquid into an old roll-on deodorant bottle and roll weed killer onto the specific weeds. But just don't forget you've done it, because it's pretty sore in the morning. You put that on your arm. OK, another question. Anyone else?
Hello, Pippa Greenwood here. An old Lancashire gardener I knew always had a pair of stockings hanging out of the water bot in his garden. Why might this have been?
Yeah, I know him, and ever since his wife found them under the car seat, he's had to pretend they're some old gardener's watering trick.
In fact, the real answer is that he'll have filled each stocking leg with pigeon droppings and then left them to steep in the water butt for a couple of weeks. The result is an excellent liquid plant feed for the whole garden.
Oh, I think I met him at my Get a Life club.
How does he get the pigeons to do that?
Yes.
Another question, please.
Bigorra, Dermot Gavin here. My morning glory has only grown to a fraction of the size I was expecting. Is there a simple solution?
There is, but it's only available on the internet.
The answer is it may require plant growth hormone, which you can find in your own medicine cabinet. One soluble aspirin in a pint of water every couple of weeks should have your problem solved. And it will prevent your morning glory having a heart attack as well. Next question, please.
Hi, I'm Charlie Dimmock. I'm told that with just 2 strands of copper wire, I can stop snails crawling up my flower pots. How?
Wrap them round your flower pots and connect them to the mains.
You're not far off, actually, Tim. So tightly tie the 2 wires around the pot, about ½ an inch apart. When a snail crawls up the pot and its body is in contact with both wires, a chemical reaction occurs between the snail's slime and the copper wire, which generates a small electric current, and the snail gets an electric shock and falls off the pot.
Oh.
Kind of weirdo thought that one up, really. Jolly good. Next question, please.
This is Adam the gardener from off of the Sunday Express. Our new kitten likes to use my seed tray as a cat litter. Is there an inexpensive way of preventing it setting foot there again?
Well, you take 2 strands of copper wire.
The answer I've got here is pepper the surface of the seed tray with cocktail sticks, 3/4 of the stick protruding from the ground. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? It's better just to cut the kitten's paws off. Final question, please.
Greetings. This is Capability Brown. Any suggestions as to what I might do with some old hose?
Yeah, become a pimp.
You want to snip old garden hose into 3-foot sections, paint to resemble venomous snakes, and arrange in your fruit trees to deter birds.
Anybody seen my will to live?
Well, it's very nearly the end of the show, but there is just time to fit in a round of the Cat Lover's Songbook. Barry was telling us about his old tomcat. He spends most evenings lying in front of the fire with his little nose stuck up between his legs, licking away for hours. And, he's been doing it so much, the cat started copying him. So, teams, your suggestions, please, of songs to suit cat lovers and their pets. Graeme, can you start, please?
If you're tabby and you know it, lap your milk.
Barry?
Goodness gracious, great balls of fur.
Tim?
Ground control to Ginger Tom.
Victoria?
Pardon me, boys, is that the Cassitude, the nougat?
Careless Whisker.
Save your hisses for me.
Please release me.
Who let the mogs out?
Spaying alive.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the Radio 1 DJ of Destiny approaches the microphone of fate and speaks only to confirm his name, age and address, I notice it's the end of the show, so from the team, Samantha, myself and our audience here in Preston, it's goodbye. Goodbye!
Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Victoria Wood were being given silly things to do by Jack D, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme consultant was Ian Pattinson and the producer was John Naismith. We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin and your chairman is Jack D.
Hello. And welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us this week for what must be a truly unique event, a return visit to Preston. In the 1660s, the highwayman Claude Duval made frequent robberies from stagecoaches on the roads of Lancashire. A notorious womanizer, Duval had several wives and mistresses, making love in a different town every night, including Burnley, Warrington, and on one occasion, Upper Ramsbottom. The 1950s crossword compiler George Wilkinson lived to a great age in Preston, and on his 100th birthday got an anagram from the Queen. In 1960, Preston became one of the first cities in England to have traffic wardens. However, one of these first wardens found the pressure of the job and the public disdain affected him so badly that his love life suffered, and one night his wife announced she was to divorce him. He complained it was so unfair, as he'd only stopped for 5 minutes. The meat stew known as Lancashire Hot Pot, which originated in the cotton towns of Lancashire, slow cooks in your house while you're out at work. The Liverpool version is called Scouse and is eaten in your house while you're out at work. The Star Wars actor Kenny Baker lived in Preston. Just 3 feet 8 inches tall, Kenny played the part of R2-D2. When not filming, he works for Ryanair as a legroom tester. The city's famous football club, Preston North End, was known for a time as Preston Nelson. This was because it was believed they'd do better with a bunch of half-blind men with limbs missing. Preston North End's last trophy win was the FA Cup in 1938. How many teams can claim to be still going after such a long time without success? Let's meet two. On my left, Barry Cryer and Graeme Garden. And on my right, Brooke-Taylor and Victoria Wood. And making a return to lend a hand with the team's points, please welcome our delicious scorer, the ever-lovely Samantha. Well, we start this week with a look at the Uxbridge English Dictionary. The English language has many words which appear to mean the same thing, but in fact provide subtle variations in meaning. For example, many people don't know the difference between accents and dialects. Well, accents are ways of pronouncing words that indicate the place of origin or social background of the speaker, while dialects are the baddies in Doctor Who. But words are constantly changing their meanings, so I'll ask the teams to suggest any new definitions they may have spotted recently. Tim, would you start?
Pyromaniac, one who collects glass baking dishes.
Barry?
Stylist, pig farmer's inventory.
Graeme?
Bungee, the one after Bun F.
Victoria?
Ethics. It's the next county to Suffolk.
Hindsight, builder's cleavage.
Is it me?
Can be.
Sounds very like you.
Acropolis, Italian for short back and sides, if you don't mind.
Quaint, vulgar version of quizzant.
Splinter, Chinese runner.
Lancelot, a doctor during a boil epidemic.
Faint, vulgar version of fizzant.
Trifle, Yorkshire gun.
Longitude, you need to cut it up smaller.
Farage, a garage that won't accept Volkswagens.
Twig, Yorkshire hairpiece.
Umbridge, card game for people who can't make their minds up.
Retail, Yorkshire bitter.
Tamper, what you take on a Yorkshire picnic.
Paint, vulgar version of peasant.
Well, the teams are going to sing along with a selection of discs now in the round called Pick-Up Song. Samantha is now back at the record deck with this week's discs. You should sing along, teams, until Samantha turns the volume down. If, when the music returns, you're within a gnat's crotchet of the original, I'll be awarding points. And points mean underlying essential ideas conveyed or intended by something that's said or written. What do points mean? This week's prize will provide peace of mind to any householder who's worried someone might break in and use their mouthwash. It's this domestic gurgler alarm. So, Tim, you're to start, and I'd like you to accompany Lancashire-born George Formby singing When I'm Cleaning Windows.
Cleaning windows to earn an honest bob. For a nosy Parker, it's an interesting job. Now it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner you would be if you can see what I can see. When I'm cleaning windows, honeymooning couples too, you should see them bill and coo. You'd be surprised at things they do. When I'm cleaning windows.
When I'm cleaning windows, in my profession I'll work hard for that.
Okay, you next, Barry. I'd like you to accompany Elvis Presley singing Trouble.
If you're looking for trouble, you come to the right place. If you're looking for trouble, just look right in my face. I was born standing up and talking back. My daddy was a green-eyed mountain Jack because I'm evil. My middle name is Misery. Well, I'm evil. So don't you mess around with me.
Someone in the audience got an incredibly loud heartbeat.
It's my pacemaker, Jack.
Oh, it's your pacemaker. You now, Graeme, would you accompany the scaffold singing Thank You Very Much?
Oh. Thank you very much for the Aintree iron. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the Aintree iron. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the birds and bees. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the birds and bees. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the family circle. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the family circle. Thank you very, 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 very much. You don't know how much they all mean. They see much better in my dreams.
Thank you, Graeme. And don't worry, I'm sure we can cancel that Liverpool recording we've got in the autumn. Finally, Victoria, can you accompany a local girl, Gracie Fields, singing Wish Me Luck as you wave me goodbye? The rest of you can be the chorus.
Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Cheerio, here I go on my way. Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Not to tear, but to cheer, make it gay. Give me a smile I can keep all the while in my heart while I'm away. Till we meet once again, you and I. as you wave me goodbye.
Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Cheerio, here I go on my way. Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Not a cheer, not a cheer.
That was very good, Tim, but Victoria's supposed to sing it.
Sorry.
The teams are going to demonstrate their acting skills now in the game called Sound Charades. This is based on the old TV favourite Give Us a Clue, where teams mimed the titles of films or books against a strict time limit. In the original, the teams performed in silence and the audience enjoyed themselves noisily. This version is exactly the same, except the other way round. One of the most popular team members on Give Us a Clue was the actor and gourmet Christopher Biggins, who is currently appearing in Wind in the Willows. Eunice Stubbs said she popped into his dressing room during a lunch break and surprised him enjoying Toad in the Hole. Tim and Victoria, you're to start, please, and your title will shortly be displayed to the audience via the laser display screen. And for listeners at home, here is the mystery voice.
50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay, and you'll be guessing this one, Barry and Graeme. And audience, do feel free to clap if they're getting warm. So off you go, Tim and Victoria.
Okay, it's 4 words, and it's a book, and it goes like this. Oh, madam, how can I help you?
Well, I'm looking to buy some new furniture. Do you have this particular sofa? I love the shape of it, but do you have it in pillar box red?
I'm so sorry. No, we sold the last one of those. We only have this sort of colouring. Would you like to pick?
What colour's that?
Well, have a look at the chart here.
Yes.
That one's elephant.
Yes.
That one's battleship.
Yes.
That's Dorian.
Yes.
That one's elegy.
Right.
Clever one, that. There's old Whistle.
Yes.
And Earl T.
Ah.
But we do have 44 others.
Okay.
Shall we play with them, Graeme? The listeners won't be able to see that.
No, but we'll enjoy it.
No, at least they didn't go through all 50.
No, that's right. Of the shades.
Of grey.
Yeah. Right, your turn, Barry and Graeme. Your title's now being exhibited to the audience here on the board. And once again, the mystery voice for you at home.
Later with Jules Holland. Later with Jules Holland.
TV and 4 words.
4 words.
Count them, 4.
4.
Goes like this.
To a girl.
Hey, miss. You'll have had your tea.
I've no time for tea.
No?
I'm preparing for the trip of a lifetime.
But, you're not going out looking like that, are you?
Ah, you've noticed my diamond choker?
I should say I have, and is that a pearl and emerald fascinator?
No, that's my sporran.
Oh.
I keep it for best.
I'm not surprised. And look at your kilt. It's encrusted with rubies and sapphires.
Indeed, it goes with my gold and diamond brooch and matching tiaras.
Things, man, you look like a Christmas tree.
Well, there's no point you looking under there for a present.
Always worth a try. Now, look here. When are you going, and indeed where?
In a wee while,
Aye.
in all my finery,
Aye.
to the Netherlands.
Goodbye.
Sounded like Highland Bling.
Is Jules anything to do with it?
Yes. Jules.
Not the jewel in the crown, that's 5 words. Jewel.
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
There's no point in shouting Netherlands.
Holland.
And I wasn't leaving.
Holland.
Yeah.
Holland. Jules Holland! Jules Holland's hootenanny.
I wasn't leaving immediately.
Later with Jules Holland!
Well, our next round is a tribute to the Archers, the everyday story of country folk. I have to admit I am no expert on the countryside, and I suspect most of us wouldn't know an ash tree if it fell on us. Best prepare yourselves. According to the show's website, some strange things have happened since it started in 1951. For example, on various occasions during rehearsals, the studio has both been flooded and struck by lightning, and 3 actors have given birth there. So incredible. They have rehearsals. Well, the teams are going to improvise a cheaper spin-off version of The Archers, and they've been provided with a box of sound effects to play in themselves. And the cast list is as follows. Tim, you'll be Brian Aldrich. Barry, you'll play Jazza. Graeme, you'll play Joe Grundy. And Victoria, you'll be Clary. Linda, Peggy, Elizabeth, Susan, Shula, Jill, Lillian, Ruth, Jennifer, and Usha. Every time I think it's time for a change of scene, I will do this with my hands. Okay, here goes.
We're off to Ambridge now, where there are worries over the future of the post office.
Oh, hello, Susan.
Oh, hello, Brian Aldrich, with your cravat and affairs.
Oh. Oh, you noticed. Could I have one of my usual rifles, please?
Yes. And 32 change, thank you.
Oh, look out of the window. What's that?
It's Joe Grundy coming in on his legs. Hello, Joe Grundy.
Hello, you two.
He's usually legless.
What's all this I hear about the post office?
Oh, well, we're very worried. The post office is closing down. It's going to become a gentleman's lap dancing club.
So, why are you worried? No, I just popped in to see if you got any of that cocaine I ordered. My farmer's lung.
No, we've still only got the marijuana. I'm so sorry. Oh, the cocaine will be in next Tuesday.
I'll take an ounce of that. I'll pay cash.
And 32 change, thank you.
Oh, look out of the window. There's a coach pulling up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the Women's Institute outing.
Yeah.
And all the ladies are getting off, aren't they, Joe Grundy? I think you noticed that through the window, didn't you?
I'm looking through the window, you two, and this is what I can see. I see the ladies getting off the coach. There's Lillian, Shula, Ruth, Jill, Clary, Jennifer, Linda, and Usha. They're coming across the road, and it looks like they got a lot to say for themselves.
Really?
They want to be careful crossing that road, though.
Yeah.
All right, time for the second scene, and there's some startling news from Penny Hassett.
Oh, come in, Jazza, you Scottish milkman. Let's have a nice cup of tea, shall we?
Oh, why not? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to lock the door. Hang on a minute, I just filled the kettle. It's quicker than the tap. We hear you've got some terrible news from the village of Ambridge near the shore.
Oh, the terrible news. You would not but you believe your eyes. There's all chains of that's taken them. You would not cut it up with it. And furthermore, what's your point? Full across the foot at their deed.
Okay, well, time for the final scene, and Kenton and Shula are planning a surprise.
Vehicle reversing. Vehicle reversing.
Kenton, I've got something terrible to tell you. Kenton. Kenton?
Oh, I'll be Kenton then.
Yes.
Hello, what is it? Whichever you are at the moment.
Well, obviously I'm Shula, can't you tell?
No.
I just wanted to tell you we've just had the news from the hospital and we are twins. But that's not a good time to tell you while we're sitting by the side of our dying mother, Jill, who was in that terrible coach accident.
Hello.
Here's the doctor now.
Hello, I'm the doctor.
Yes.
Oh, I've never seen you before.
And you'll never see me again. Now, I'm terribly sorry. I've got some very bad news for you.
What is it?
Yes, he has. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
What
James.
is it?
The post office is going to turn into a lap dancing club.
Never mind that. My mother is dangerously ill. Do you have any procedures that might save her life?
Well, I think there is one thing that we could try. Stand
Okay,
back.
Yes. Count to 3.
1, 2, 3. No, well, that didn't work, did it? Anybody else got any suggestions? Jazzer.
Well, you could basically modify the thing on fix up and ruin the frame.
Yes.
And down the crotch and get back it.
Yeah.
Could work.
Yeah, it's an old trick. An old trick, always worth trying, and it might just work. Here goes. By Jove, that's done them a power of good, hasn't it?
Yes. They're all out of the bed. They look ready for a good old dance.
They do, don't they? And I think they'll be up and about in no time, enjoying themselves on the village green.
It's so nice to see everybody enjoying themselves. Who's that coming out of the bull? It's Jazzer.
That's Jazzer,
He looks
all right.
frustrated by his inability to make himself understood. He's carrying a machine gun.
That's about it.
OK, it would be a wasted opportunity if we visited Lancashire and didn't immerse ourselves in the full extent of the richness and depth of the culture here. And besides, we've got 90 seconds to fill. Before we came to Preston, we put messages on social network websites seeking to meet locals who are exponents of Lancashire's oral heritage. And now we find we've been put on a register. So, teams, I've been provided with a list of traditional Lancashire sayings which are incomplete, and I'd like to test your local knowledge by asking you to finish them off. OK, so we'll start with you, Tim. Can you finish off this popular Lancashire saying? There's most thrutching where there's...
A big thrutcher.
The actual answer is least room.
Oh.
Most thrutching where there's least room. What the hell is thrutching? Does anyone know? Or care?
Fidgets.
Fidgets. Ah, there's most thrutching where there's least room. OK. Well, that's a very useful saying, that, isn't it? Now I've got that one. I can think of several occasions where I'll be using that in the next week or so. Victoria, here's one for you. Preston for pan mugs, Heighton for pride, Childwell for toiling, and...
Alderley Edge for really nice kitchenware.
It's playing beside. Barry, when ability faileth...
Step aside with £450,000 and a pension pot.
He says, when ability faileth, friendship decayeth. Graeme, what Lancashire thinks today...
Yorkshire claims it thought of first.
This is what Lancashire thinks today, England thinks tomorrow. Yeah. So I haven't finished. England thinks tomorrow. That was a stupid thing to think of. I wish Lancashire would stop thinking. Here are some for any of you to have a go at. 1 for sorrow, 2 for mirth, 3 for a wedding, 4 for a birth, 5 for rich, 6 for the poor.
Or 7 for customer services.
It says 7 for a bitch, 8 for a whore. Okay.
Customer services, you know.
Oh, that started me thrushing.
Unless you're bacon, you would mar...
Stay out of the skip at the back of Spa.
It says you would mar kill not your pig without the R, e.g. only kill pigs when the month has an R in it.
Is that what the voices tell you, Jack?
Halifax is made of wax and Heptonstall of stone. In Halifax there's many a pretty girl
who'll talk dirty on the phone.
In Heptonstall there's none. When the fern is as high as a spoon, you may sleep an hour at noon. When the fern is as high as a ladle, you may sleep as long as you're able. When the fern begins to look red...
Serves you right for smoking in bed.
Then milk is good with brown bread. That's what it says. Yes.
What?
Does sound delicious, Lancashire. And finally, when the donkey sounds his horn, it is quite time to...
leave the motorway.
To house your corn. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show and also the end of this series. And I can honestly say I've never enjoyed myself more than reading that sentence. We'll be back with a special show on Christmas Eve. So until then, from the team, Samantha, myself and our audience here in Preston, it's goodbye. Goodbye.
Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Victoria Wood were being given silly things to do by Jack D, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme consultant was Ian Pattinson and the producer was John Naismith. We present a special festive edition of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin and your chairman is Jack D.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Christmas Clue. Tonight is Christmas Eve, a magical time when children and adults alike reflect upon the wonder of the Nativity. The story tells how a young couple travelled to pay their taxes. If anyone from Starbucks or Amazon is listening, you might want to skip this bit. The young couple arrive at their destination despite a light snowfall. If anyone from Southern Trains is listening, you might want to skip this bit. The man seeks accommodation for his partner, who is a young virgin. If anyone from Essex is listening... Oh, never mind. Well, you find us today at the University of London's Logan Hall in Bloomsbury. This area found fame in the 1920s with the Bloomsbury Set, the group of writers, intellectuals and artists that included Vita Sackville-West with her husband Harold Nicholson and Virginia Woolf and her husband Basil Brush. Another prominent member of the group was the writer Aldous Huxley. Originally from South London with literary success, Huxley was offered a peerage there, but he declined because he didn't want to be known as Aldous of Croydon. In the 1990s, the Logan Hall hosted the British Chess Championships. Our greatest grandmaster, Nigel Short, won the title in 1998. When he was awarded his MBE, Nigel went to Buckingham Palace, where he picked the Queen up and replaced her with a black one. The University of London includes the Central School of Speech and Drama. The actor Tony Robinson studied here. He's best remembered now as the grubby, inarticulate sidekick in Time Team. This year marks the 40th anniversary of the first broadcast of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, but anyone who thinks this show lives in the past is hereunto a lollygagger. Despite entering their 5th decade on the show, it's remarkable how the original team members have remained as fresh, keen and sharp as they've ever been. I'm just telling the nice people you're still sharp. They are, on my left, Graeme Garden and Barry Cryer. And on my right, Brooke-Taylor and Stephen Fry. Now, unfortunately, our usual scorer, Samantha, can't be with us today as she's opening in the West End. So please welcome in her place our occasional stand-in, the ever-rippling Sven. Okay, well, we start with a round of the Uxbridge English Dictionary. The meanings of words are constantly changing, team, so let's hear any new definitions you may have spotted recently. Graeme, will you start, please?
Tinsel, Gretel's more flamboyant other brother.
Tim.
Goblet, a baby turkey.
Stephen?
Yule log. Mr. Brinner has left without flushing.
Barry?
Nutcrackers. Tight wide fronts.
Brandy, having a high sex drive and bow legs.
Vegetate. Art gallery for greengrocers.
Garden hose. Graham's lady friends.
Sprouts, the opposite of sprints.
Whittle. The conundrum that is Jonathan Ross.
Canopy. Scott's complaint.
Encounter, where they sell chicken in supermarkets. You've been there, yeah.
Prima donna. Guy Ritchie's bachelor days.
Balloon, an inflatable Belgian.
Bunny, rather like a bun.
Turkey, a bit like a Turk.
Wassail, what Nelson said when he put the telescope to his blind eye.
Colonnade, a fizzy enema.
Good, well, the teams are going to sing for us now in the round called One Song to the Tune of Another. This is where each team member sings the wrong words to musical backing. Now, piano accompaniment will be provided by Colin. Listeners may be interested to hear that when Paul McCartney heard Colin at the Abbey Road studios, he asked him to play On My Love Can Tire, or anywhere else 700 miles away. So we'll start with you, Tim. I'd like you to sing the words of Wannabe by the Spice Girls to the tune of Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I want a heart.
It's got us all in the festive spirit. So you now, Stephen, and I'd like you to sing the words of Goodness Gracious Me to the tune of The First Noel.
Oh, doctor, I'm in trouble. Well, goodness gracious me. For every time a certain man is standing next to me, a flush comes to my face and my pulse begins to race. It goes boom, buddy, boom, buddy, boom, buddy, boom. Buddy, boom, buddy, boom, buddy, boom, buddy, boom. Boom, buddy, boom. Well, goodness gracious me.
That was magical. It's your turn, Barry. I'd like you to sing the words of Hanky Panky by Madonna to the tune of Good King Wenceslas.
Some girls, they like candy and others they like to grind. I'll settle for the back of your hand, somewhere on my behind. Treat me like I'm a bad girl, even when I'm being good. I don't want you to thank me, you can just spank me. I'll go quietly, officer. Some girls like to sweet talk and others they like to tease. Tie my hands behind my back and ooh, I'm in ecstasy. Don't slobber me with kisses, I can get that from my sisters. Before I get too cranky, you better just spank me. Ooh.
Barry Cryer there, without whose musical talent we managed just fine. Graeme, I'd like you to sing the words of When I'm Cleaning Windows to the tune of Away in a Manger.
Now I go cleaning windows to an honest bob. For a nosy Parker, it's an interesting job. Now it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner you would be, if you can see what I can see when I'm cleaning windows. Honeymooning couples too, you should see them bin and coo. You'd be surprised at things they do when I'm cleaning windows. In my profession I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get right to the top. Turned out nice again. Hey!
I don't think any of us have ever paused to thank Colin, have we? Okay, the teams are going to do some acting now in the round called Sound Charades. This is their version of the old TV mime show Give Us a Clue. When it was first suggested the teams try a radio version of the game, it was difficult to see how it could be half as good as the original, but they managed it. Our scorer, Sven, worked as a researcher on Give Us a Clue. He recalls how the perfectionist Christopher Biggins endlessly rehearsed his mime of the boxing movie Rocky, even inviting Sven into his dressing room to practice exchanging blows. Well, Tim and Stephen, you're to start, please. Not exchanging blows. And your title will shortly be displayed to the audience via the laser display screen. And for listeners at home, here's the mystery voice.
Jude the Obscure. Jude the Obscure.
So off you go, Tim and Stephen.
It's 3 words, and it's basically a book.
You must have seen him in something.
No, I haven't.
Talented Mr. Ripley, did you miss that? Cold Mountain, The Aviator, Contagion, Hugo, that Sherlock Holmes film when I took my clothes off. No, not that one. The even more highly rated Wild, award-winning, brilliant film. No. You've never seen this guy?
Well, I have, but not with my glasses on.
Oh.
Jude Law?
Yes.
Time's up. Time is up.
And you can't see him without your glasses because he's Jude the Obscure.
Okay, your turn, Barry and Graeme, and your title's now being exhibited on the laser display board. And here again is the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Mad Max. Mad Max.
It's a film.
2 words.
Goes like this. Can I help you, sir?
Yes, I'd like to buy a raincoat, please.
Certainly, sir. How about... we have a wide range, as you can see. How about this one?
That just looks crazy.
No, this one?
That's completely balmy.
Well, how about this one?
That's nuts.
Well, I'm afraid all our raincoats look like this, sir. Hence the name of our shop.
Is it, by any chance, called Mad Max?
All right, well, let's try another round. Here's a further title going up on the laser display board for you, Tim and Stephen. And here's the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Racing from Newmarket. Racing from Newmarket.
It's 3 words. It's an event, but it's on television, and it goes like this. Ah, Mr. Singh, nice to meet you. Do you mind me asking, are you from India?
No, Suffolk. Actually, I live in Newmarket, but please call me Ray.
Okay, Ray.
Was that it?
Yes.
Grand National Daintree, wasn't it?
Racing from Newmarket.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, well, a final title now being displayed for you, Barry and Graeme. And here once more is the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Towering Inferno. Towering Inferno.
It's a film.
Oh, it's a film.
Yep.
2 words, yes.
Hamish.
Dougal, you'll have had your tea.
Oh, I've no time for tea. I'm away to the fashion show.
Oh, I'll come with you. Will Big Jeannie be on the catwalk?
Big Jeannie, that she will. I can't wait to see her 6'5" if she's an inch.
7'3" in her high heels.
Aye, she's a lofty lass. She takes after her mother and her father standing on each other's shoulders.
And do you think she'll be wearing a mink coat?
No, she will not. No, she has very strong principles. She rejects the wearing of animal skins.
She'll be quite a show, then.
No, she will. She will be wearing clothes, Hamish, but responsibly sourced from vegetable materials such as sweet corn and aubergines.
Oh, I've seen her trying them on in the co-op.
Well, there you are. She may be 6'5",
7'3",
but catch her in a mink coat, never.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I have no idea.
Is there a film called Furless Giantess? Furless? No fur? No fur.
Lovely to see Stephen stumped, isn't
Fur
it?
No hide, no pelt, no fur.
No fur.
No is important.
Yes.
It's not
It's 2 words.
but not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
We can't...
Furnos.
Doctor No? Furnos.
That's part of it.
Towering Inferno! Towering Inferno!
Oh, my God.
Oh, Well, you sick-minded fiend.
Well, the next round is all about boasting. Graeme was telling us he recently worked with the world-famous actress and UNICEF humanitarian Mia Farrow. Miss Farrow told Graeme all about food aid, sub-Saharan drought, famine parcels, malaria, and all her other children. In this game, the teams will be guests at a Christmas party. One person will boast about something which each succeeding guest should try to outdo. We'll start with you, Tim. Can you start us off?
Well, I'm going to spend Christmas at home with all my family.
I'm going to spend Christmas with somebody else's family.
Sandringham as usual for me.
Yes, and while you're at Sandringham, the royal family are moving out and coming to my place.
And then they're all joining me on my yacht, I believe.
Oh, well, we've offered them a full cruise on the small cruise liner that I've certainly recently taken over.
I'm going cruising too, with One Direction.
Dream on, dream on.
I've got a liner as well. In fact, I've got several. But the royal family are coming with me on my liner, and we're going to fly to the moon.
Well, the moon is so yesterday, isn't it? So passé. But we're going to Mars, in actual fact. Not the moon anymore. Nobody goes there.
You're going to your mother's?
You never liked her, did you?
I thought I'd give all my friends an engraved iPad.
Yes. I'm giving an uncle of mine the engraved iPad that Nelson wore.
This next round concerns things that famous people never said this year. For example, when Eamon Holmes turned up at a family party, he didn't ask to be directed to the salad bar. Now, that is a little cruel. Eamon is very touchy about his size, and anyway, whatever he actually said was drowned out by the kids shouting, "Hooray, the bouncy castle's arrived!" OK, teams, I'd like you to suggest things that well-known people didn't say in 2012. Tim, you can start.
John Humphreys, we'd really like to hear what you have to say, Minister.
Stephen.
Jack D.
OK. Graeme.
David Dickinson, I'd like to cancel my order of creosote.
Barry.
Jeremy Hunt. What do you mean, rhyming slang?
Barry Cryer. Another pint? No, I couldn't possibly.
The Archbishop of Canterbury. I believe Thailand has a wide range of lady bishops.
Happy Christmas and praise the Lord. Richard Dawkins.
Brian Sewell. Hello, Treacle. Helena Bonham Carter. It's Oscar night tomorrow and I can't find a stylist to drag me through my usual hedge backwards.
David Cameron, tax avoidance is immoral. They taught me that at Eton College, registered charity number 1139986.
Lance Armstrong. I'm sorry, I have no idea where you may find a pharmacy around here.
Lance Armstrong again. I'd like to buy some stabilizers.
Well, that was money well spent. Mitt Romney.
Prince Andrew, shall I wrap it up, or are you going to fire it now?
Well, it's now time to play the game called Mornington Crescent. We've received an email, and it comes from Mrs. Trellis of North Wales. She writes, "Dear Pick of the Week, I do wish you'd use your hanky. Yours, etc., Mrs. Trellis." And on with the game, which this week will be played to Bethlehem rules, so any moves that are Christmas-related will score double. Tim, you can start.
Angel Islington.
Oh, nice one.
Yep.
Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah. Three Kings Road.
Oh. Ooh. Yes. Golders Green.
Oh, nice, yes.
Silent Knightsbridge.
Oh, yes. You'd take that to get to Herod's.
You would.
Knightsbridge. Oxon Circus.
Yeah. Careful.
You can't have Oxon Circus
Why not?
because Angel was Tim's Tim's Advent.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
Do the diagonal.
Bethlehem rules. That's it.
Yeah.
Hay Market.
Very good.
Oh,
Yes.
Ooh, it's a very sad place. It's where Joe Orton was murdered, but it's Noel Road in Islington.
Oh, that's got us all in the mood again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Turnham Green.
That's got nothing to do with Christmas.
Oh, it would be a miracle, wouldn't it?
Merlibon. It's better than gold.
Goldhawk Road.
We've had Golders Green, so I can't have it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Barry.
No, but it's a parallel. It's not a direct clash with it.
No, you're taking from Golders Green when you're already on a diagonal anyway. So. Well, I mean, how well do you know Bethlehem rules? No. You know, I'm the one who has to study this, and yet you don't like it when I insist we do it properly.
Lincoln's Inn.
There you go.
Oh, yes, that's good, yeah. No Bedford Square.
Follow Star Avenue.
To Mornington Crescent.
There are several elements without which Christmas would never be complete. One is the Christmas card, and I have the first parts of some genuine Christmas card greetings which I'd like you to complete, right? So, Graeme, the first message is for you. Evergreen boughs that fill our homes with fragrant Christmas scents.
Remind me of those little cakes you find inside the gents.
It's hearts filled with the loving glow that Christmas represents. Tim, here's one for you. The tempting gifts are tantalising. About opening them, I'll start that again. Don't send me a card because I won't read it properly. I've actually attached a shredder to my front door so they go straight into that. The tempting gifts are tantalising. About opening them, we are fantasising. The holiday foods are appetising. Our hearts and minds are harmonising.
Could I get more patronising?
If you want to know, it says, our excitements and joy are growing and rising. Jolly Christmas fun we're maximising. I know. Stephen, here's a short one for you. The sight of loving relatives who come to us to stay.
I have so many fewer. That's the advantage of being gay.
It's actually just one of many blessings we enjoy on Christmas Day. Barry.
Yes.
Little Robin Redbreast sat upon a tree. Up went Pussycat and down went he. Down came Pussy and away Robin ran, says little Robin Redbreast.
That was bloody close.
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh,
no. Graeme, another one for you. I'm a little snowman, round and fat. Here are my mittens, here's my hat. Add a little scarf, add a carrot nose, and...
Can you guess where this parsnip goes?
No, it's not that at all. I'll stand tall when the cold wind blows. Okay, well, here's some for any of you to have a go at. I'll throw them out. And this one is for someone spending Christmas in sunnier climes. Thinking of you at Christmas time, where there's no fear of snow. Instead, you'll spend your Christmas under the sun's warming glow. But don't feel bad for the rest of us, stuck with cold weather and ice.
We're not going to get malaria.
It's actually while you wallow in the warmth of your Christmas paradise. Oh, no. Christmas is coming and the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny'll do. If you haven't got a halfpenny...
He takes plastic too.
It is, of course, then God bless you. The funniest face looked out at me from a silver ball on the Christmas tree. At first I thought it was Santa's elf, but...
Then I realised it was an intruder.
The original is, but I looked again and it was just myself. I think this is the last one. That's for a baby's first Christmas. Your very first Christmas with us is such a special one. We wish for you the best of days with parents and lots of fun. And from the time that you wake up till you go nighty-night...
All you do is wet yourself and burp and scream and shite.
Oh, dear. It's funny enough, I got one of those last Christmas. It's time for this year's Christmas pantomime, and very much a British tradition. The word pantomime actually derives from the classical Greek words for bloody hell, isn't it over yet? By the way, Barry Cryer has asked us to mention that he's in Panto again this year, playing the back end of the cow, so he has to spend hours in makeup having his face made less realistic. One aspect of the modern pantomime is that the cast is joined by a so-called celebrity, usually so barely remembered they have to have a special billing to remind us who they are. But we do things differently here. We have a real celebrity guest in Stephen Fry and a cast of 3 who can barely remember who they are. Now a star of stage, movies and literature, Stephen first came to notice doing an advert for Whitbread Best Bitter, but he's since advertised Vauxhall and Honda cars, Heineken Lager, After 8 Mints and Marks & Spencer, so a firm favourite with overweight drunk drivers who want to take a cardigan back. The teams are going to improvise a version of the pantomime Jack and the Beanstalk. They've been provided with a box of sound effects to play in themselves, and the cast list is as follows. Graeme, you're Jack. Tim, you'll be Jack's mother. Barry, you'll play the giant, and Stephen, you can be the Beanstalk, and other parts will be played by members of the cast. No panto would be complete without audience participation, so I have some cue cards ready. Let's just test one before we start. Okay, audience, would you like to tell the teams where the best days of their careers are? Okay, so teams, off you go.
Once upon a time in Fairyland, or Brighton as it's now called, there was a cottage. Oh, no, really? A cottage that belonged to a handsome, plump woman, Talisa, and her only son, Jack. Now, Mother Talisa spent most of her money on the poor on a holiday in Calcutta, so they were utterly, utterly penniless.
Hey.
Oh, Jack, we're penniless.
Oh, Mother, I'm starving.
Yes,
And what are we going to do?
We're going to have to sell Daisy.
I'd rather sell the cow.
Oh, here she is now. Oh, Daisy.
Yes, that's a good idea. I'll take the cow to market and I'll sell it. And we'll have lots of money to buy milk and steak and leather goods and... and those horn ornaments that you've been longing to get.
So off to market he went.
Right, here I am at the market now. Who's going to buy my cow? Excuse me, do you want to buy a cow?
No, try him over there.
Oh, who's that?
He's called Mr. Bean.
Oh.
You'll soon find out why.
All right. Excuse me, sir.
Well, yes, what on that?
Can you direct me to Mr. Bean?
Well, as a matter of fact,
are you?
I'm Mr. Bean.
All right. Do you want to buy a cow?
Yes, I'd love to buy a cow.
How much are you going to give me for it?
5 beans.
5 beans? Oh.
5 magic beans.
5 magic beans?
Yeah.
All right, you are. Here, take the cow, and good luck. I've got 5 magic beans, and I think that's a really good deal, isn't it, boys and girls? Oh, yes, it is.
So Jack made his way back to the cottage with his 5 new beans.
Mother, I'm home.
Oh, well done, Jack. How much did you get?
5 magic beans.
Magic beans?
Magic beans, Mother.
Oh, you naughty boy.
Oh, wow. Oh, don't do that now. Leave me alone. Oh.
Perhaps that was a bit strong, but...
What have you done with me beans?
Oh, I've thrown them out of the window. Now jack off and then go... and then go to bed. Come on.
So Jack discarded his upper clothing, jerking off on the bed, and night passed, but, boys and girls, mirabile dictu.
Oh.
The beanstalk began to grow and grow and grow. And the next day, first thing at the very crack of Jennifer, Talisa was woken by an urgent cock.
Oh, Jack, look, there's a huge beanstalk outside our back door.
I heard it. It was growing in the night. The piano woke me. What'll we do with it, Mother?
I want you to climb it.
Climb the beanstalk? Climb it? Why?
It would be a change.
What kind of change?
A climate change.
Hey! Right, off I go climbing that beanstalk as soon as I can find a pianist. Well, here I am, quarter of the way up. And that last bit didn't take long. Right, here we are, and good heavens, there's a castle. There's nobody in. I think I'll open this door. Oh, look. There's a goose. Driving a car. And laying golden eggs. Oh. How I wish my dear mother was here.
Here I am.
Look, Mother, all these golden eggs.
Oh, I'd like a goose. Oh, thank you very much.
Now.
Oh.
It's a giant. It's a giant. Where is he?
Hiss off.
Where is the giant? If only I knew where the giant was.
That's good timing, isn't it?
Fee, fi, fo, prompt.
Fum.
Oh, thank you. I smell the blood of an Englishman.
I'm all right then. I'm Scottish.
Oh, fee, fi, fo, fottish. I smell the blood of somebody Scottish. Fi, fo, fum, fee. I assume you've had your tea.
Quick, Mother, while he's congratulating himself. Escape down the beanstalk with the gold. Quick, down the beanstalk.
Oh, down we go.
Pianist.
And they swarmed down the beanstalk almost as long as it took the pianist to finish. The giant was in lumbering pursuit.
Oh, Jack, get your chopper out.
Right.
Not that one.
Oh. Right, I'll chop it down, Mother. Leave it to me.
OK. Well done. A little bit quicker.
All right.
Quicker than that.
That's done it.
Top of the world, man!
And the beanstalk crashed to the ground. The beanstalk was a has-been stalk. But this fable has a moral point. All great stories have points. And what do points mean? Thank you.
OK, well, it's very nearly the end of the show, but there is just time to take a look at the Nativity. No Christmas would be complete without a special edition of the Radio Times. So, teams, your suggestions, please, of films, TV and radio programmes featured in a Nativity edition of the Radio Times. Graeme, will you start, please?
Maternity Makeover with Trini and Hosanna.
Barry?
Some mothers do have them.
Tim?
Manger Mouse.
And Stephen?
I'm sorry I haven't a room.
I'm a divinity. Get me out of here.
Midsummer Myrrh.
Dial M for myrrh. Casper the Friendly King. Who do you think thou art?
There's something about Mary.
Wish you were Herod.
I'll make a start on the dishes. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the Santa Claus of fate goes down the chimney of destiny with a new flat-screen TV and meets the burglar of time coming up with the old one, I notice it's the end of the show. So from the teams, Sven, myself and our audience here in London, it's Merry Christmas and goodbye. Goodbye.
Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Stephen Fry were being given silly things to do by Jack D, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme consultant was Ian Pattinson and the producer was John Naismith.